Kings of the game, yeah, the chosen few. From the shadows we rise with the rarest finds. Collect them, respect them, we're one of a kind. Toiling, ready the streets. Elite with defeats in this collectible feast. Toiling, never the street. When the heart of the beat, where all blame makes me. Check our stacks, our collection supreme. Limited editions, every collector's dream. We're the myths, we're the legends, with every drop. Taking over the block, we never stop. In the alleys where the headphones play. Toiling's the name, hear what we say. Rising, thriving, always thriving. In our realm, we're always dropping. Toiling, rain in the street, the lift toilets. Setting the pace. With a snap of the case and a click of the lock. Toilets on top and we're ready to rock. Collecting more than just toys. Wow. We're up. We're up.
What's up, everybody? So I am here flying solo, but not truly solo because, that'd be boring just to sit here and talk for 3 hours like somebody does on Monday nights. So I brought a couple of my good buddies here to go over some stuff that we've all seen before, but we're just going to walk through and have some fun talking about some things. So I'll bring my guest on one at a time. The man of mist and magic. Pay no attention to the man behind the Foster Grants. We have the one and only Ostradamus Toys. Look at that.
What's going on?
Sexy hair growing in.
You see that? Look at that. Ugh. I don't even know what to do with that, man. Not prepared for growing hair back at this stage, man. Like every day I'm like, okay, I kind of want to go shave. And I'm like,
right, I hear you.
I can't. I made a promise. I got to keep it. So the hair's coming for a whole year, and it's going to look awful. Just absolutely awful. I can't wait for next March already.
And then we have the man who has some of the best hair in the game, Mr. Brick Something.
Sorry, that's my favorite part. I love that part of Travis. And then you do this. I love it.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. There's hair in there. I don't know if it's the best, but it's there.
It's a
What's
good
up,
hair
man?
game.
Thank you for
It's a
having me.
good
There
hair
you go.
game.
I'll do that. See, I'm gonna get rid of that.
What?
That
No way.
That
There you
moniker.
go.
No
There
way.
If it was a little longer, you could pull off a bowl cut with that.
Whoa.
A little bit longer, it has to be. Though.
Maybe
Got
get some
the bangs
Bruce
for
action.
it. Just got to grow the sides out.
There you go.
Happy to be here. Talk toys, man.
Yes.
Always fun.
And last but not least, the man who has a mustache that sees more action than the special forces, the one and only Joe G.
Hey everybody, how's it going, guys?
What's up, Joe?
What is it?
Oh man, just excited to be here. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Oh, we're glad to have you.
Always look forward to hanging out with you guys.
Yeah. So a couple weeks ago when they announced went through, I shouldn't say they announced it, walked through the dragon and how the tiers are going to work. The four of us were on Brick Something channel watching the live coverage of how the quote unquote crowdfunding thing was going to work. And so here we are again. We're going to talk about some dragon. We're going to talk about some of the updates that have happened and review some of the zombies from Mars stuff that they've updated that too. And then we'll talk about toys because that's our favorite thing to do.
Absolutely.
Everybody doing good?
Yeah, man. Enjoying a coffee. It's a Tuesday night. Counting it down to the weekend.
I have some jasmine tea in my mug today.
Ooh,
I
fancy.
finished my coffee after work, so it's time
There's
to
that
switch to tea.
pinky up there, buddy.
Right? I'm feeling fancy already. Like I got a...
I really enjoy tea later at night, so it works out good. My son was considering starting like a tea business, and he went and bought, I think, 10 pounds of the jasmine tea. So we have plenty of it to go around.
Nice.
Yeah.
Right on.
Can
The
he
tea
order
business-
my coffee from now on? So I just
Right.
constantly have 10 pounds
Right,
of coffee,
exactly.
like ready
No
to
doubt.
go.
I'm like, where did today he brought over the second box because we finished off the first 5-pound box, and now we're on the second 5-pound box, and it came in this huge bag, and I was like, it's a good thing you didn't get pulled over on your way over here because
Yeah.
Cop would have had
What
you
you
a
got
lot of
back
time understanding with a big bag of green leaves dried up.
Yeah,
Or
what scent are you covering up with all that? that
That's
tea?
right. All right. So before we step into, we're going to cover the zombies first, but let's say hi to the chat. We got some people popping in here. We got Minhuzas joining us. What's up, all? And Vazone. I'm not sure if it's Vaz or Tiffany or both, but it says Tiffany's with Vaz here. So, all right.
Well, there you go.
All right. They do a great show on, I forget what day of the week. It's on Sundays, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
Sundays,
Sundays.
yeah. Yep. Great show. Fun to watch. They're fun to watch together. They have a good time, enjoy themselves. They're
They
enjoying
had some awesome bloopers.
Yeah.
Class. That was hilarious.
Yeah, they're enjoying, doing their customizing and stuff. That's really cool. So shout out to those guys. We have this guy pulling double duty. Joe G is in the house and in the comments,
Right on.
as well as this guy is also all over the place. And we are officially Toy Tube now since Nolan is here. What's up, Nolan? And then we have the third guest pulling double duty. Look at that.
You said duty.
There, we'll get to D's later on. And we got Kenzo's Creations in the house. What's up, Kenzo? Big panel of legends. That's right, sir. That's right. And I don't have the soundbite for this guy, but he knows his theme song. Here comes the money.
Here comes the money. Money.
What's
money,
up, Punk?
money.
That's right.
And that is it. Yes, Sunday Fun Day for Van Zone. Thank you for clarifying that. All right, so we're going to walk through Space Zombies from Mars real quick, but you guys have all seen the Kickstarter if you followed this channel at all, because we had Adam Drake and Ira and Arlen Pelletier on a couple weeks back, going over the Kickstarter right before it launched. And it's now launched. It's about 38,000 with 13 days to go. So there are like 30% there, 35% somewhere in that area on the way there. So I hope this funds because I'm really excited about this line. I've been excited about it since I saw it at Joe Fest. But we're going to walk through a couple of pictures. I just put a quick slideshow together to go over some of the new stuff. Adam did a good job of showing off some of the scaling pictures with other figure lines that we're all pretty much familiar with. So let me present the slideshow. And all right, here it is. Look at these sexy guys. Oz has this awesome avatar because we didn't have
enough time.
I'm gonna work on that. on that. It's a fun.
But I thought
project.
this was perfect for us. Coffee cup, beanie hat. What more
And
could you
skulls everywhere. Yeah,
Yep.
that's really just about it. So,
all right. So start with they posted a picture of how the articulation is going to break down, and this is pretty much the same with Fresh Monkey Fiction, Operation Monster Force, and all those type of characters. Did a really nice job of just laying out the articulation and all the parts that the body's going to come with. So I thought that was pretty cool.
So I like that this is a base body and that the spacesuits are an overlay, like a soft, rubber overlay. That makes it so much easier to get that great variety and for us to pop and swap these amazing figures. So yeah, I really was impressed with the concept of how they did these.
Yeah, Arlen, even like with the Fresh Monkey or the Operation Monster Force stuff, like they all have their, like the Delta Red and the Declan Van Helsing has like the chest harness, like the vest, right? But all the vests have things you can plug in all over the different place to give every. You could buy like 3 Delta Reds and have every single one look absolutely different between the heads and the way the vest can be put together. I mean, more than 3, but I don't know why you'd want more than 3 unless you're crazy.
Some people army build like that.
Some people army build like that, but
Mhm.
a really cool concept with all the overlays that Arlen designs into his figures. So that's kudos to him.
Well, it's just smart because it gives you a really good base
Yeah,
universal
right.
type body, so that you only have to do minimal tooling to get the most out of it on anything new.
So this first picture is just basically the two types of figures they're offering. They're offering astronauts, which all come with their own little special thing. Like this guy has the file card and the weapons. Some of them come with engineering tools and things like that. So, but as Joe was saying, like this is the base body, and then the suit is kind of like an overlay to give it that bulky spacesuit feeling. And then all the zombies are pretty much just really, thinned down version of the astronauts without all the extras. So that's why the astronauts, of course, cost more money. But it's a really smart way to be able to do. I think total right now, if the Kickstarter fully funds and all the stretch goals reach like 13 figures, I think, or something like that, 12 figures, something like that. But really smart way to do it. Got different colors. All the zombie parts and stuff are interchangeable. And one of the cool things that Adam mentioned on Saturday Night Clubhouse on Oz's channel was that like Fresh Monkey Fiction's Operation Monster Force and their, the lines they're making for BBTS Workshop right now, all the hands and heads and all that will be swappable. So you can really expand your army either way you go, right? Put astronaut head on a Monster Force or a zombie head on a Dracula body or whatever you want to do. So really cool. And this is where we
really build out the world a lot, which is really nice.
I'm sure this is one that Oz will definitely be going for. This glow in the dark is exclusive to the Kickstarter only.
That's what I backed immediately. First thing.
Yep. I mean, it's going to be cool to have that zombie and then be able to, even if you want to do like a really cool picture and just have the zombie head glowing and not have the rest of the glow in the dark parts, because you can swap the head onto a different body or something. It's just going to be really cool. And a glow in the dark zombie, what else could you ask for, right? I mean,
man, it definitely in my mind gives kind of a radioactive feel to it, for photography. I think that's going to be really
and this guy's in the original red suit, which was from the original Marsh voyage that nobody really knows what happened to at this point in time.
Right. Like a lot of the zombies are all in the older spacesuits because they were all part of Red Dust 1, the first mission. Because the humans are all in newer spacesuits because that's all part of Red Dust 2.
Yep. And I don't know, I'm sure it's laid out in the comic book, which we won't know until we see the comic book. But like, I don't think Arlen or Adam has mentioned how many years in between the Red Dust missions yet, has he?
It's like the 30 years.
Yeah, Red Dust 1 was in the 60s, and this current Red Dust 2 is in the 90s.
Okay, so like a 30-year gap. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Except that guy, what's the main villain?
Spike,
probably getting
Spike Spectre.
Spike doesn't seem to have aged much.
Basically, like not at
all.
He's got that cool, like, monster face helmet head. I'm thinking it's going to tie into the story for sure.
Yeah.
And I'm super curious to find out how.
When I first saw that, I thought it was like some kind of bug alien creature. I was like, oh, that is awesome. But then Adam explained that it was a helmet. I was like, oh, that's still cool. I really like it.
He's actually been referring to it as, it's like a helmet, it's a mask. It's also a crown, right? And so the notion of what does that do? And how has he lived for 30 years, and what happened to the mission, and why are there glowing ones and other ones in the old spacesuits but walking around as zombies now? So
I'm really excited for Spike Spectre. I just love the way the whole character looks. It's just so cool looking.
I love like the whole jetpack thing. The whole, you can see it in this one. We got the old aquarium, or whatever you call it, fishbowl
helmet. Yeah, totally.
Cool.
Yeah, that's one thing that I think like Arlen did a really good job with as far as like separating the years, because the older aliens like Spike has the rounded, dome type of helmet, and the new guys have the, more
almost like a visor-esque
streamlined look to them. So really definitely sets it apart as far as the time zone goes. And then if you get to the unlock, there will be a head pack also included, which, looking forward to that because it gives you more options to build out more astronauts and zombies and stuff like
He's
that.
teased us so hard with that heads
Oh,
pack
yeah.
because just out of focus in the background of some pictures that Adam was showing us, it was like, oh, they're back there, and just out of focus enough that you can't really tell.
Yeah. One of the coolest things that I'm looking forward to is like you got this dome that has pretty much all of it shattered off, and then you got the neck with just the guts that are coming out of it.
Yes, that is so cool,
so
and it looks so good on the figures too. Like,
and speaking of Adam, what's up, Adam?
There you go. Maybe he can control the zombies.
Ooh, a little more teasing going on.
Crown, he's king of the zombies.
All right. And then, of course, one of the things that I've been really excited for since I met Arlen and Ira at Joe Fest was this soundtrack vinyl album. I mean, what more could you ask for out of a action figure line than to find out that it was inspired by a jam session ultimately, right? It's like, that's just so cool. And I know, Oz, you're hoping for the purple vinyl.
I'm just put it out there again. I can ask for one more thing, and that is to make sure that this thing is purple. Yeah. Look at how sick that looks. How could you want any other color than that, except for maybe glow in the dark? But that's a whole nother thing. Yeah. Purple. Let's go purple, folks. Come on. Looks great with that green. Oh.
Everyone's going to be campaigning. And totally the green and purple is like classic comics, right? There was always that combination for printing reasons. But like there's something to be said about green with red sprinkled in there. Like, zombies.
Yeah, it's like Christmas.
Yeah. I could see like it'd be pretty cool to have this even be like like a psychedelic green and red or green and purple together with the splots of blood all over. That would make it pretty wild looking album.
I'm all about the psychedelics. Bring on the acid.
And then of course you got the comic book coming out, which I'm really looking forward to learning about the lore of the whole thing, and that'll be pretty entertaining. So if you go into the Kickstarter, you have the option to get both of these in physical, both of them in digital. And if you get the physical copies, you also get the digital. So you have the option of going either way. And again, the record is vinyl is only going to be available through the Kickstarter. After the Kickstarter is over, the vinyl will not be available.
Right.
Oh, is that true?
Yes. Adam said that.
Okay, got it. I thought it was.
I thought it was
going to
be able to get the
colorway.
Yeah,
but maybe not.
The soundtrack will be available just digitally, as far as I believe what Adam said. So.
Yep. That's a very important key factor again for any of us out here who are big fans of vinyl. I mean, I know there are people who collect vinyl just to collect vinyl. They don't even have turntables. And this is an awesome piece. It's going to be very unique. Not many other people are going to know about it. And who knows when the next time the Beyithir band might put out a vinyl. So that could be like one of a kind on its own collectible item.
My biggest challenge is going to be, do I open the vinyl and play it on my record player, or do I just listen to the digital music? I'm still torn.
Because me, I'm going to be like, I need to hear that vinyl sound.
I know. I love that vinyl sound.
I'm going to want to have
that little... If you need certain frequencies to come through.
Yeah. That audio file in me is just going to be like, please.
And Adam says, if people miss the Kickstarter exclusives, that's on them, not me. We got your back, Adam. We won't let anybody take you out.
Just saying, glow-in-the-dark zombies, vinyl albums. Come on, folks.
Yeah, what
got to get in on this Kickstarter. Even if you get nothing else from the line during the Kickstarter, that alone.
Yeah, I mean, really, right? I mean, you could go in and just back this Kickstarter for the glow-in-the-dark zombie astronaut, and then the album, so you get the exclusives. Then you can worry about the rest later if you don't have a lot of money to put into a Kickstarter, right? It's because that's not a lot of money.
And he said there's going to be a backer kit to it. Yep, you can adjust the backer kit on the back end, so you can even get more.
That's right.
Come on, folks. Like, it's crunch time here. We got 13 days to go. We need to get this thing. We need to get it moving.
Ed needs his
and
astronauts.
I will. So actually, maybe not. Well, I'll ask Adam. Tell me if this is true or not. both Adam and I will be at WonderCon in Anaheim at the end of the month. So what is that? That's next
That
Friday.
last weekend, isn't it?
Next Friday, Saturday, and
Yeah.
Sunday. And I think he might have some of the Paint Masters there. Let me know if that's true or not.
All right, is WonderCon the 22nd, 23rd, or the 29th, 30th?
27th, 28th, 29th.
Okay, sorry, so that's 2 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
2 weekends from now.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. No, that's all right. I just want to make sure people don't get confused.
So many cons. Con season started off with a bang.
And he says he will have Paint Masters at WonderCon.
Oh, awesome. Folks, if you're going, you got to stop by and see these things in person because they are gorgeous.
Yeah, we're going to show some off right now. Some in-hand shots from Adam himself. So this is a really nice comparison of, you got Marvel Legends, you got Classified Joe, you got Monster Force, you got Star Wars Black Series. And the one that I was really blown away by is how close in size the astronauts are to Fisher Rice of the Cosmic Legions from the Four Horsemen.
Mm-hmm.
The way they scale, it doesn't seem like they'd be so close, but in this side-by-side picture, and there's a close-up one I'll show in a minute, they are really, really close together. So you could definitely use your cosmics mixed into this whole space sci-fi world if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like looking at that right there, Fisher Rice could be like an alien brute type, you know, to oppose or enhance your human astronauts for sure.
Yeah, help take out the zombie, influx.
I could just imagine right now seeing like a whole bunch of, tusks coming in and like, the military, astronaut guys like trying to go to war with them, like an complete invasion type thing.
Oh, yeah.
I was really, really shocked at that too, because I thought Fisher Rice would be quite a bit taller.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And to be honest, like seeing the side by side, I was like, that's absolutely perfect. And again, you see he's perfectly in scale with Monster Force, Fresh Monkey Fiction, right in line with Classifieds. The only thing that it looks a little bit smaller to is Marvel Legends, and that's just kind of the way of it. Marvel Legends could be a little bit bigger.
You never know with Marvel Legends, though. Some of the Spider-Man are short, some of them are tall.
Yeah, it all depends on what type of body they're using. Yeah. This one's the Renew Your Vows, so that's like the more popular one. But again, that's just
definitely if you're doing the military lines, right? Whether it's Monster Force or GI Joe Classified, was it the Soldiers of Fortune? Is that what it's called from Fresh Monkey?
Got from Big BTS. Yep.
Just like if that's kind of your wheelhouse, this is perfect. And as you said, like the hands and everything else kind of swap out, which is really cool. Like I think that kind of ecosystem works. Yeah. I totally see it working for Cosmic too if you want to swing it. Yep. But like you said, they're a little bit bulky.
You could definitely see the Tusks being. I mean, if you use the Tusks as aliens or some type of alien life, right? I mean, them being a smidge bigger in those suits makes sense. So you could work it in there. They're not so far out of scale that it's like, okay, that doesn't work.
Right.
I think that's really cool. I'm glad that that indie toy companies are really sort of thinking about like whose ecosystem do they kind of want to exist in and really scale well with. Like I know that was a conversation with the Brutal Realm guys for a little bit, and they were trying to go a particular place, and I was offering my opinion in terms of like what figures might make more sense for them to kind of like scale well with. So it's I don't know. I think it's really great because I think at the end of the day, a lot of us don't care. Like we want to mix our lines up, but visually we also kind of want them to maybe work right without some force perspective. So I love that.
I want, when I take a picture or build a world in my head, right? I don't care what line it belongs to, whether it's Mezco or, G.I. Joe or Valaverse or whoever. But I do want them to be close enough in scale that it's not, unless I'm doing some kind of force perspective or I want a giant, like the Warbearer or something like that, right? I mean, but you want to keep them in scale. So this is a really nice way to do it. Keeps them in line with all the Fresh Monkey Fiction stuff and, that 6-inch scale military line, like you were saying, Brick. Valaverse, GI Joe,
Yeah.
Marvel Legends, and all that, and then it will fit into with some other stuff.
And another big thing too is, I mean, we've seen that GI Joe Classified is not afraid to dabble in the realm of the weirder or maybe less liked characters within the original like GI Joe Real American Hero line. But can we honestly say we expect them to make it all the way to Star Brigade? I don't know. So if you need to fill that gap, right? Like if you need to fill that gap, I don't know of any other astronaut toy lines that are out there, folks. So this is where you need to start filling in that presence.
They would work perfectly for GI Joe astronauts for sure.
Right. Mm-hmm. And they'll have like decent looking weapons versus the weird comically awkward weapons that Star Brigade actually.
Yeah.
And I'm, like, I know your show is really geared towards the indie toy thing. I'm always wanting people who maybe buy like a Hasbro classified figure to then get their hands on something like this.
Yep.
And sort of see like what it's like to have so much paint applied to these things and the level of detail that they can do.
Yeah.
Again, it's not about like one is better than the other, but I just want them to understand like what's possible, right? And what they can, hope for.
What it really brings to the table when you're buying from an independent toy company versus buying from one of the major ones. And we're not dogging the big guys. We're not dogging Mattel. We're not dogging Hasbro because we like them. We buy from them. But these indie guys, first off, you're funding a privately owned business by somebody, right? Like you pretty much know exactly where that money is going to. You're supporting them. You're supporting their passion and what they're enjoying. And you're getting more, in my opinion, you're getting more for your buck with it too, because they really are just that good.
Yeah, I think one of the cool things about most of the indie lines is, yes, they fall into the military, or like Brutal Realm falls into the Barbarians, Savage Crucible and Mythic Legions all fall into that, and Cosmic falls into like the sci-fi thing. But you're getting such a different set of types of characters, right? Because there's no limits to them guys. They're not operating inside of a license. They're not operating inside of a corporation that says we can only make this type of figure because whether it's, we don't want to promote gun violence or we don't want to promote whatever it is, right? I mean, with the indie toys, they can basically do whatever they want if the fan base wants it. So it gives them a lot more freedom. And just to have somebody like Brick was saying, to go in there and say, hey, let's do this because, I know nobody has done this before. And then here you go, right? You got an awesome line of astronauts versus zombies. I mean,
I think there's, again, this isn't a criticism for any of the larger toy companies, but the smaller companies have a lot more pressure to put out a good product. And we reap the benefits of that, because if they put out a product and it's not good, they're a small company. It's harder for them to absorb that, so they're going that extra mile to try and give us better product, for the money that we're spending.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. They've got
I think we can see that here, for sure.
So one of the last things I'm going to share is something that they added to the update. I should say Adam added it to the update for the TNT, the Nameless Toy Company. And that is Spike Spectre and his pilot dress blues. What an awesome figure. And he comes with like a 1960s, sci-fi pistol that you'd see in some, movie from back then. It's just awesome.
Right. That's one of those big things I love about this is, again, all of these retro, like, you want to say sci-fi, but it's not even just sci-fi, like B-movie sci-fi from like the 60s. Yes. But this is what that stuff looked like at the time in the 60s. And, I love the fact that their idea of what a futuristic space pistol looks like, that whole thing, what spacesuits and how people could navigate around in space and all like that. I love that look, that vibe that these give, because growing up, that was a lot of stuff you would see on TV.
Saturday afternoons.
Cable, right? Yeah, after cartoons rolled in, we're watching some crazy retro, 1960s sci-fi.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is like great. You got this guy here, and then you take the general from Operation Monster Force. You take a couple of these guys, a couple of generals. You got a whole, command center of, upper.
You can actually get some upper brass, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And with the uniform too, like this could be your Air Force, right? Yep. Like that blue, we know what that means.
Yep.
And that works because you get a lot of soldiers in all these toy lines, but you don't get the upper command, and the orders always come down from somebody.
That's right. And I think that's it for this one. So let's take a quick chat break, Brick, and then I will turn it over to you to run through the dragon stuff.
The dragon.
We got a couple new people that have jumped in here. Let me find where I left off. Old Fatrid is here with us. What's up, Fatrid Foo? And Plastic Skulls. Plastic Skulls in the house. He does some awesome Instagram pictures. If you guys aren't following Plastic Skulls, you should go follow him.
Need to.
Absolutely.
And Adam says there might be a reveal on
YHS
tonight. Ooh. Nice.
To go check that out.
Yeah. G.I. Jetman's in the house. What's up, G.I. Jetman? Thanks for coming in. Action Joe Figs is with us. And our buddy, Emerald Knight Photos, John is here. What's up, John? And this was about Fisher Rice. I could see the blue skin alien working for Destro. Yeah. KJ Smith is in the house. What's up, KJ? What's up, peeps? And TD3 Trooper, which is also AKA used to be Troy Dotson. What's up, my dudes? What's up, Troy?
What's going on, Troy? Didn't know he had the name changed. Thank you for saying that.
He changed his name. He popped into Radnom's stream and we're like, this has to be Troy.
Okay.
And he's like, after a couple minutes, he's like, yeah, this is Troy. So. And Menhoza saying, yeah, an astronaut in full EVA suit is always a big hit. And then we got Mr. Wonderful jumping in saying, thanks, dudes, for stepping in tonight. So much love for all you dudes. We all love you too, Travis. We all love you too.
Absolutely.
And then Kirby.
Hey, what's up, Kirby?
Nice.
I want those astronauts so much. You and me both, brother. And Northern Nomads here with, what's up, suckers? And yes, Troy, I do know you so well. I can tell just by your chat inputs who you are, so you can't hide from us. All right, Brick, it's all yours, man. Take it away.
Oh, I mean, you're gonna have to pop that thing.
You got to at least share.
I got it. I got it. Travis runs the buttons. I'm just here for my looks, guys. Travis runs the buttons.
I'm Travis tonight.
Yes,
but without access to the buttons. So
we were on your stream last 2 weeks ago when we were going through the dragon stuff, and I'd see a comment. I kept going over there trying to pop it up like I do on my show, and then when I'm on with Oz on Saturday nights, I'm like, damn, I don't have controls on this channel.
Habits. So yeah, I think one of the biggest dragons in the room is Beyithir, Mythic Legions. We've been talking about it like a lot amongst our like little chat. I know folks here we're looking to order and making that happen. I've been lucky to be able to talk about it over on Geek Dad Life, and then on my channel with Jeremy Girard this Sunday, which was like a really awesome interview. Super happy with that conversation, just because I got some geeky info. And then last night over on Legion's Lounge, which was rad. So Beyithir, if for some reason you didn't know, is the giant dragon that they revealed back in November at G-Con, the beginning of Legion's Con. And this is this gorgeous thing right here, is photographed by Trevor. This thing is gigantic. Again, I don't know who hasn't been paying attention to it. I'm not going to assume. So just the basics are that the dragon base package is $550. There are 2 accessory packs. I should actually pause there. The dragon for $550 comes with a figure. And potentially that more bits for that figure as things get unlocked. And I don't know how much we're going to talk about tonight. It also comes with a spread wings pack, which also comes with another figure for $150. And then it comes with a neck, neck and head, a brand new head with mouth open, extended with a replaceable tongue or gigantic flame piece for another $150 and a figure. So, we'll talk a little bit more about the details, but you first wanted to start off with the news that we got. Was that just today? Yeah, today.
Yep. Just announced.
So, whoever wants to jump in.
It came out yesterday morning, not today, but yesterday.
Was it yesterday? I thought it was today.
It was yesterday.
No, it was yesterday. Yeah.
It all
Break it
blends
down.
together.
Anybody, break it down. What's the big news?
All right. So, as it's been announced now, Sir Benegar is included with base tier Beyithir. If we unlock the dragon, we automatically unlock Sir Benegar as well with it. Now, what's really cool with that is that not only did they put this at that initial level of unlock with the dragon, but all the tiers for it have also been lowered by that exact amount. So 2,000 now, 2,000 units is going to get you Beyithir and Sir Benegar. 2,500 is now going to unlock those extra cool enhanced pieces for your Sir Benegar. Upgrade kits. The 3,000 mark, we're going to unlock that Ashen Skeleton, which some of you may have got your Rave to the Grave Skeletons pack, which was sold as Ashen Gray, but this is an Ashen Skeleton, which is even darker, almost black or like charcoal.
Yep.
Then at 3,500 now, we're going to get his upgrade pack, and who knows what they're going to unlock at 4,000. They always said that if they got to 4,000, that they would go ahead and see what they could work into unlocking if it hit a higher level from the 4,000. But now it's like there's almost this extra guaranteed level, almost, it seems, because the way they have those question marks out there, it's almost like they got something planned that could work in that spot. But the thing is, it doesn't matter what's at 4,000 because we got to get everything up to that point to get this unlocked. Sure. And we've still got some ground to cover on this one.
And one thing we should mention is that, like, the upgrades for Beyithir and Beyithir himself and some of the other things are not going to be available outside of this crowdfunding experience. So,
none of this is going to be available outside of it. They said this is all part of this. So, all the Sir Benegar is only going to be available with Beyithir.
Mm-hmm.
The Ashen Skeleton only available with Beyithir. And then when you get to the other packs, the accessory packs, if you will, the Fiery Breath accessory pack comes with the Fiery Knight, which just unlocked today, as a matter of fact.
Yep.
So you get the additional headpiece, the neck piece, you get the flames, and you get this gorgeous Ghost Rider inspired Fiery Knight. Mind you, unlocking this does not mean we're unlocking anything extra at the dragon. All that means is now you're unlocking this. Okay.
Yeah, and I think, like, I mean, I know the dragon's really close right now, so I don't have any fear of it funding. But
it's gonna fall.
These guys, even though they're funded, do not get made until that dragon unlocks. So
we still need the dragon to unlock it because they're not going to make a bunch of accessories for stuff that is gonna have no use, sadly.
Right.
Oh, that'd be so sad. Look at my wings.
Right. Look at these wings that I can't. I don't know. I could clip them onto my back. I wouldn't be able to fly with them, but they might look kind of cool.
You might glide for a few feet, Oz. I wouldn't say that. Those are huge.
Eric
was holding them, and it looked like he had a shield
right over his arm, like a
little style shield.
Yeah. So I mean, this is definitely really cool. I'm glad to see that this unlocked. So what that means is if we get Beyithir, this unlocks as well. For everybody who backs this, you're going to get it. You still have to back this, and it is an additional $150.
Damn.
But
Every
it
time
detail
is
in those horns,
gorgeous.
Man.
Look at that.
Man.
Again, this is what you pay for when you go to these indie companies. The amount of paint app and detail in here.
I am
nobody else
practicing my best brick and not going to buy this thing as much as I want it.
We don't hear that. We're trying to support this and back it.
That is my trip to Joe Fest, man. If it wasn't already planned and scheduled, man,
completely. Yeah.
I could afford it, but I'd have no way to get to Joe Fest, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Real quick, Matt, what's up, brother? Listening on his way home. Matt's one of my local friends here, so
nice.
Sweet.
So just like we've got some upgrades with Beyithir as it hits different tiers, there is an additional tier for the Fiery Breath add-on set where you get an upgrade to the Fiery Knight. You don't get anything additional with the head or the flames or anything like that, but what you get is an upgrade. So if you look at the Fiery Knight as he is, like, he's got this glowing hot look to him, but his feet and his hands are still cold. And we like to see our knights warm. We want to make sure that they're not cold out there and that they're warm from head to toe. So when you get this upgrade kit, he's got like this full molten look head to toe, and it's great because you can see where it starts in the center and just stretches out, so the extremities at their furthest.
For those of us that live in the cold weather, keeping your appendages warm are that's the most important part of surviving the cold weather.
It's key. Now, what's also awesome about this is you get that additional head that Brick just passed over, which is really cool. You get the chainmail head with the faceplate of, that skull faceplate over it in this sweet, beautifully done, translucent, fiery
so awesome.
look.
That head looks so good.
Yeah.
That faceplate in a head that isn't translucent is going to look really nifty. I think.
Yeah. Absolutely. And it just looks sweet. Oh, it looks so good. You guys know how I love my skeletons. So
I've never noticed this little lock on the teeth.
He has a tattoo like a rapper. Yeah, that's cool.
That's where he gets that grill tattoo.
Yeah. He was down in the hood hanging out in Baltimore.
Are you getting a tattoo on your teeth though?
I've seen weirder stuff here.
It's cool. It's really cool. You imagine like playing with the faceplates too, and either putting that faceplate on another head like this, or the other way.
Yeah, or swapping.
For some reason, it's got a flesh. Yeah.
Some idiot decided to put on this molten hot armor. But the shield.
Real quick, while we're still talking about the neck, Todd wants to know is there articulation in the neck?
Yes,
there is in both versions of the neck. And while you all keep talking, I will bring up a video that I want everyone to go check out because over on the studio, they did a great show last Wednesday where they showed. I'll bring it up right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, you can see where those points of articulation are. They've done a really good job of putting it in the sculpt, but like you can really see, especially on the elongated neck, everywhere there's like that small little like line right there. It's just an extra place so that way you can rotate, turn the neck certain ways, so that way you can, for action figure photography, you can get better posing. This is not a static statue. This is an action figure, a big as hell action figure, but it is fully articulated head to tail in, what is it, Brick? Like over 72 pieces?
Oh, I don't remember anymore. The numbers.
Yeah, it was something like that, though. Yeah, it was in.
Yeah, it was like some 72 points of articulation. Yeah. They've said that this is the most articulated action figure they have ever done, because there are segments of the tail that are articulated. Again, the neck looks like it's articulated in at least 4 spots that you can see.
Yeah. Well, here, why don't we? It's not. It won't go necessarily in order. I'm going to go in the order that they shared it, but definitely go check that out. I'll put this in the private chat, and Ed, if you want to send that link to people, but go check out the Four Horsemen Studios Wednesday 4 o'clock. What is it called?
4-ish o'clock
show. You can kind of see them playing with some of this, and so definitely go check it out over there, because you'll also get the audio, which you're not going to get here. But they're sort of talking over it. There it is. But they show like the ratcheting as well. You can hear at least the the prototypes ratcheting. Yeah. And it's really cool.
Look at the size of the wing compared to that dude's hand.
Yeah. I mean, so you've got the lift at a what is ostensibly like a disc joint, and then you've got the twist there, and then they're gonna play with it a little bit more. So there's that.
And again, that's just a prototype too. So that, I mean, it's that's working prototype, but it's
that's one from the silicon molds. They don't even have actual tooling yet.
Yeah. So it's really just giving you an idea.
Oh, look at that neck.
Right?
Damn, that's awesome.
Yeah.
There's a couple more shots. It's hard to sort of like cue up really, but you can kind of see there's your neck movement up and down, left and right, as well as the pivot or whatever you want to call it. And I also like the sort of ease, right? The ease of movement. So there's some of the neck articulation, and then we get to the tail a little bit here.
Oh yeah, got to show off these tail
You can see how many pieces. So they were talking about this in this video, how like, these are all test pieces, so it'll hold more, and that's kind of why they, they sort of do the prototyping so they can figure out what are the proper tolerances and how to make things have a little bit more friction or less so that it can stand. There it is.
Right. And
so cool.
Brick, you and I, we're a big fan of Creative Beast Studios and what those guys have done with everything that they've been doing. They've been working on some dragons as well. Like they got that frost dragon, they've got a forest dragon, and they look gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely love what those guys do with all their dinosaurs. But the way their articulation is you can really see each and every point of that articulation in theirs. What I like about this is, honestly, when they showed this thing off, and I was able to see it in person along with several of you guys when we went to Legion's Con, I saw it again just a couple weekends ago at ZoloCon, is that this thing looks almost like a statue when you walk up to it. And you don't realize where all the points of articulation are because it's within the sculpt so well. And that's not any knock on anybody out there, because we all know when you break down to a lot of different points of articulation, you're going to get those kind of breaks.
Yeah.
But it is so hard to see that within their sculpting details here. It's madness.
It's sculpting, it's painting, it's all of that kind of tricking the eye, but you can see it there, right?
You can see it. Yeah.
But you see that natural like segments with each scale, and then boom, it's hidden there. It follows the scales. It's really, really good stuff. Really thoughtful design. Look at that. So that to be clear, this is the fiery breath neck, and you can kind of see that it has segments there, and it'll have that same articulation at where the neck touches the body, just like what we saw in the prototype. And then this is the standard neck.
And keep in mind too that this is, the studio prototype. The factory might even add more articulation if it makes it easier for them to, cast and mold it. So, those are things that are a possibility in the future also.
Yep.
And I'll let one of you guys answer this question. Maybe you know better than I do. The standard wings do articulate, right? That's what I thought.
Absolutely.
Both wings do.
The difference between the wings is... Go ahead, Brick, if we want to talk about the epic wings.
No, go for it, and I'll pop it up.
Oh. So the standard wings are kind of folded and closed in a little bit. These are the epic wings where they are, as you can see, spread and outstretched. And as you could just see from that video, that was the spread wing look. These things are massive. Joe was already saying it before. Eric was holding on to these last weekend on the Mythic Conversations stream.
Mm-hmm.
He had these things in hand, and it was taking up the full size of his forearm. And, you know, like these are just as massive. And that is proper scale right down there with that Ashen zombie within this pack. So that's a 6-inch figure, and you can just see how big he is compared to these wings.
He's like the knuckles or whatever you want to call them, the joints that connect to the body are almost as big as that damn skeleton dude.
Yeah. The shoulders.
Yeah.
And I think both sets of wings do have the same shoulders, so they'll have the articulation in the same way. It's just, man, these epic wings, like I'm pretty sure I'm going to be displaying it with the epic wings on. Well, because it's epic. I mean,
it's epic.
Just having that spread out and that silhouette of those giant wings on top of that massive dragon, like that, for me, that's how I'm going to have to display it.
So one of the things with these, again, like we were mentioning, as far as what that kind of base joint looks like, any of you who may already have some Mythic Legions or some Cosmic Legions, if you have Kragnar or like Scourge, very similar to how they have like the spots on the back of those Dragoseer, that body mold for those ogre scale figures. That's kind of what you're looking at here, where they've got that joint into the back, where it's almost like these are extra arms in a way, because that's like really just how big they are. And the detail on these things is phenomenal. I cannot get over all the sculpted detail that goes into these.
Eric
and again,
Treadaway didn't they said he didn't copy and paste anything. Every scale, every horn is hand sculpted by Eric Treadaway.
He's got veins in the damn wings, man. That's just
he wouldn't cheat. He wouldn't cheat on any of these, you know. He did everything by hand, which is amazing. You know, taking months and months and months to sculpt this, you know, is just incredible in my opinion.
Yeah, the amount of patience it takes to do that.
That shows the love for his craft, for what he's doing. He's not going to take a shortcut. He's not going to just copy and paste one to the other side, you know. He's doing everything by hand because he wants it to be exceptional.
Right. He wants to put a product out there that he would love looking at over and over again. He sculpted it, and he'll probably still find new details every time he takes a look.
Yeah. You know, not to knock like other toy companies, right? But a lot of companies just take that wing and would do a mirror image of it on the other side. But you can see just in that picture that there's different holes, you know, there's different lines and stuff in it just to give the texture, right? I mean, like, that's just incredible that they took the time to sculpt two different wings, one for each side, not just mirror image them so they're the same thing. Just crazy.
Yeah, the artistry is next level.
Yeah.
And that's what they are. One of the things I've always appreciated about Mythic Legions is just it's a work of art in your hand that you get to enjoy. Like, are you going to get your hands on a Van Gogh? No, but to me, this is a Van Gogh right here in my collection. If I can get this, that's the way I look at it. There's not going to be anything else like this again. This is one piece of toy history that's going to be made. I mean, look at that. That detail is awesome. Brick, you're on mute, brother.
That's fine. I was just saying, of course, the paint as well. Like, all of it is just like it's all the artistry that you're saying, plus the collaboration, right?
Yeah. Joe Vassapolo said that Sherry spent 2 weeks painting this dragon, and that's a full-time job. That's 40 hours a week, so that's 80 hours of a professional painter working on this to get the paint job done. That's pretty incredible.
And, you know, let's talk about the flame just for a quick second, right? I mean, like, there's a lot of people that do flames. And a lot of times you could tell that there's a toy flame, but like the way they have this coming out of the mouth with the fire going in the right direction and then hitting the ground going in the opposite direction is just such a cool little feature to have, right? I mean, that's just, and then the fact that they give you the circle, so you could either have just a blast of flame, or you can have it hitting something and then spreading out. Is just, that's just like the thoughtfulness of wanting to create, like I was just saying, a work of art.
Yeah. And again, picturing the idea of like sitting that fiery night in that flame at the base of that. I mean, that's nuts. That's absolutely nuts.
The world
at the
hot
con.
foot.
At the con, my brother and I were talking about like, oh, what could people do to sort of like enhance this thing, like the customizer community. I'd love to see a flame that is that classic like bursting on a shield. So like
yes,
right. So you're standing with a shield and it's kind of all over, and you're just holding on for dear life.
Especially
and then cut to the next scene, it's the ashen zombie or
right. Well, you start off with the zombie, then go to the skeleton.
Sure.
You start with the Valiant Knight,
right?
Get the full breakdown. But even then, the Fiery Knight comes with that shield unlock too, so you can even start with like a base shield and like have that more. What is the word that I'm trying to think of for that? When it gets
the bigger
heated.
Ones with the sigil. Oh.
When it gets heated, and then it's got that look to it after. Oh, the word's escaping me now. Yeah, sure. We'll just go with hot. Not quite the word I'm looking for, but yeah.
Do you mean when metal changes colors from heat?
Right, when it's cooled down again, like when it goes through that process.
Yes. And I'm drawing a blank on that too, and I totally know what you're talking
it's about. The stuff like in when Star Wars, when the back of the things are permanently a different color, the engines and stuff.
Right.
Anyway,
I know with real medieval armor, they would do that to turn them that nice shade of blue.
Oh, scoring? Carbon scoring? No, never mind.
Well,
whatever.
That's
carbon scoring. It's a little bit different because that's when
it doesn't matter. This thing is rad. Let's go with hot.
Anyway,
but
exactly. I like hot. Hot works. Everybody understands what we mean.
Where's all of our forgers in this room, this place, right? I mean,
right, what happened to all the blacksmith guys? Come on now.
I'll just say, like, check out like the tail, like, and the length, right? You're 54 inches for the actual dragon.
We could go with Kenny's word,
smoldering.
That's what happens when I look at somebody too long. Yeah, that's a smolder.
Especially with those new glasses.
Oh, yeah.
54 inches.
That's what I told her it was. I mean,
from what I heard, that's taller than Joe is, or that's longer than Joe.
Okay, so you remember my conversation yesterday on Legion's Lounge when those guys were trying to tell me, oh, you got space? Again, like if I had it. So this is 54 inches. I can't even fit it in the camera, folks.
It's 6 inches shy of being 5 feet by itself.
Well, I think that's why, like, a lot of people are really going for like the head and flame pack on top of this, just because you can take a good picture with just that.
There you go.
You're never going to get this full dragon.
I totally know how tall Brick
and
is.
have it, work out right. It's going to be tough to take a full photograph.
But I mean,
Brick and I are about a half-inch difference in height, and Brick just showed you that comes up to his chest.
I think what is amazing about, though, because it is articulated, we've got this amazing stretched out version that you're seeing right here. I've seen pictures where the tail's wrapped around the feet, the head is up and looking to the side, and then it's not smashed, but confined to a much smaller profile, where it's, I mean, right there even. And you could get a little smaller if you turn the head to the side.
Yeah.
So it can be brought down to a more manageable size.
31.
See, that'll even fit on screen. So
that's it. Yeah, see, fine. That's what Nate was saying yesterday. He's like, "You stand, right? You're standing right now." I was like, "Yeah." So you have that plenty of space. I was like, "I stand because I can't even put a chair in here." But that's not to scare anyone off. It's to deal with the reality of this thing, and it's actually not as big as a lot of the other toys that have come out there. And at the end of the day, you're going to do what makes sense for you. Like as we talk, even when we're looking at the neck, I was like, oh, I want it. I should just get it. I should just get it. So
every time you look at it, you talk yourself back into it. And then it's like you step away and reality sinks back in and you're like, I really can't.
I'm still contemplating getting the neck with the fire breath and the fire.
I was all set. I was all set for this thing. And
just take the
little thing happens.
Take the wings, put them on the side of your head, take the tail, wear them around like a necklace. Man, you'd be the hottest thing in town.
Just take the wings, put them on your dog. I mean, most dogs are about the same size, most house dogs.
Right.
Again, I'm joking, but it truly is. It's an achievement, and we all know this. We should probably just
outside of like just action figure collecting, right? Like think about like if you dressed up as a wizard, you could have this thing sprawled across your shoulders as part of your cosplay for a baby dragon. I mean, just how badass would that be?
Right.
Painted purple. You got yourself a Lockheed walking around.
Oh, Brick. Now, why you gotta make me want more?
But anyway, I don't know. There's so many streams dedicated to this thing. We know, like, it's rad. There's all these great little options.
Well, there's a picture there with it next to the Granomir, right? And
yes,
this is me holding Granomir next to my fat head. And Beyithir is dwarfing.
Oh god,
Granomir.
that thing is gorgeous, though.
Yeah.
If you guys are,
I have the red one up there too. But
if you're looking at that thing, going, man, that thing is gorgeous. Look at the sculpt on that. See, Mattel can do. And then you realize, oh wait, 4 Horsemen.
Yeah, that was the Horseman.
That's where they started, and that's where they're at.
That right there is a good picture, though, so you can get like the scale of just how this thing's going to look like, know, with your different figures, right? Because I mean, some people get the dragon, and not just for Mythic Legions, right? They'll get it to fight, whoever.
I think this dragon would go great
California
with Space
Raisins
Zombies from Mars.
Yeah, it would. Oh yeah.
I was gonna say I love the California raisins in here, or the Lego minifig over on the other side.
Everything is awesome,
right?
Totally.
Like
you guys,
totally.
You guys can figure out a way to get that to fit into your place.
I've got
Spaceport right here. Donath, hedgehog action. He's like it at that size. It can just sit on the floor.
Yep.
Like.
If nothing else, put a
in the
glass
place of a coffee
top
table
on it, right?
Yeah.
I would just put a shelf over top of my television and just have it sprawled out on top of there if I was getting it.
I'd get rid of the damn television and just mount this thing to the wall.
Go, right?
I mean, I don't need to watch anything else. I would watch this dragon.
God,
what's up, Alan?
That's the picture. Woo! That's the picture I was talking about.
That is awesome, right there.
I mean, that compresses the size quite a bit.
It does.
It does. It makes a much smaller footprint. Like I said, when I was looking at it, I knew immediately, even with the epic wings, it could fit right here in this shelf, right where this stuff is. I just totally have to find a new place for this, and that's fine. I will find a new place for this.
There you go.
Get yourselves a leash. Take pictures of it. You walk in Beyithir. It'd be cool.
This is how you fix it, Brick.
No, I'm gonna
some of your Lego ships, and you have it climbing the wall.
Have it destroying
37 pounds. Oh man.
Right. You get some drywall anchors.
Gotta get some good wall anchors, but you can do it.
So I'd be walking around my neighborhood with this thing, recording my neighbors' reactions as I came by with it. They're like, where the hell do you get that big ass?
When this thing comes out, you're gonna see a bunch of those pictures like people used to do with the big AT-AT and have it walking on a leash. You're gonna see a bunch of those.
I can't wait to see what people do with the photography with this when it drops.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's going to be just a flood of awesomeness for sure.
Phenomenal.
We all know that you have the space for it, Alan. You don't have to rub it in.
Yeah, right.
This is going to add like another 5 feet to the top of his Snake Mountain, though. So it's no longer going to be a 12-foot Snake Mountain. It's now going to be a 17-foot Snake Mountain.
Yeah.
And this is the other thing, too, that I don't think we talk up enough. The additional hands. Now, again, these come standard with the base model. You're going to get 2 style sets of hands. You're going to get the regular ones so that he looks, just like standing, flat. But then they also have this curved one so that, again, you can have it like you saw in the picture, stepping on top of an action figure, kind of holding an action figure. in place with it. I mean, that's another cool addition that, again, I don't think gets talked up enough when talking about the base level. This is included from the start. This isn't anything extra. It's not an addition. It's not included with one of the accessory sets. You get both sets of front claws from the start with this.
Yeah, you
and
have
again,
them like you stepped on a Lego brick.
Yeah.
With the mouth open,
dragons
like screaming.
So you got to get the fiery breath kit for that, but it's totally worth it. I want to see that. Somebody needs.
Well, the normal head has an articulated jaw,
right?
It does.
So you can open the mouth even if you don't get the accessory kits.
That's probably something not talked about.
It just
very
doesn't
often
get
either,
as big as
the
that.
standard head has an articulated jaw. The fire breath doesn't, because they wanted to be able to get the fire to sit in there.
Oh,
the
sorry to anybody who has tryptophobia.
Right.
Yeah, this thing is cool. I would love to just be in the factory one day and just sort of be a fly on the wall and see them put these things together and paint them and all the different hits, because it is such a project. Look at all this stuff, man. I mean, you get enough people working, skilled, doing their thing, unit after unit, and they're just able to knock these things out. But I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, and again, all of that individually sculpted detail, the lines and the keeling on each scale, and again, not even all the scales are keeled either, which is crazy. Like, you've got those soft pebbly scales, you've got the more rigid keeled scales along it. It's phenomenal just to see all that, and
you could absolutely work it in.
Blown away by this.
Yeah,
without a doubt. Again, this isn't just something for Mythic Legions. I mean, you can work this in any number of toy lines. You don't even have to be an action figure collector.
I think anything. I mean, how cool would it be to see the Avengers? Marvel Legends Avengers fighting Beyithir.
Fing Fang Foom can go suck it. I'm just saying.
Yeah, you could get little purple shorts for this one. Anyways,
right. There you go.
It's great.
The stance in this picture, it's just going to look so impressive. Like, it's going to be such a centerpiece, for conversation in your house.
Yeah, without a doubt.
What do you think, Ed? Joanna? I'm just kidding. Joe Fest? I don't know.
That I do want to say that, though. I do want everyone to understand that making over this, everybody's got to do what's right for them.
Of course.
My excitement and me gushing over this product that I'm excited for is not me saying that anyone should damage their financial situation because of a toy.
Yeah. Right.
If you can't get it, you can't get it. I just personally am very, very excited about this.
I mean, like we talked about when they went through the thing and we were all together. It's one of those few times in a life that you get these kind of things that you're able to actually possibly purchase. So if you're a fan and you can purchase it and you're all on board, go for it, right? There's nothing wrong with that, and there's nothing wrong with not being able to afford it and just enjoying it from afar like the rest of us, So
yeah. Now, G.I. Jetman was asking in the chat. He says, "If you worked for the factory, I wonder if you'd get one for nothing."
I doubt it.
If
not
maybe
something this size.
if you worked in the factory, maybe if you poured an extra one for yourself and somehow figured out a way not to get caught
after hours or something.
But I will tell
you, that's not like sticking
a
Lego minifig in your pocket. This is a big boy.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you, everybody in the studio, they've got to buy their own.
Yeah,
making any extras, for them to just keep around. They don't have the space to store these things.
You'd have to do this thing like Johnny Cash's "One Piece at a Time" song, right? So he's like the Billy Cadillac, right? By the time you got done, you'd have 5 dragons all put into one different dragon.
Well, I mean, there's so much to talk about, but there's the dragon, there's the lore stuff, but I don't know. You want to talk other
figures,
toys?
Yeah, let's move on to something else.
Figures.
Yeah, the figures are rad, and we could take a look at those.
Yeah, the upgraded shield is just amazing on the Benegar.
And Kenzo got it right.
Oh, sorry.
Thermochromism
I should go back.
is what that is.
Oh, is that what you were looking for? I like hot.
Thermochromism. Hot stuff.
Yeah, what were you saying? What were you pointing out, Ed?
The shield. The
sigil shield?
Yeah, with the dragon head. That's just so awesome.
Now, they did say that is not a unique part to the Kickstarter. They will reuse the dragon head. So that is nice. But the helmet and the pauldrons
and this stuff.
Yep. That's going to be unique to the Kickstarter.
Is that second sword a flame sword?
It looks like
it looks orange, does it not?
Yeah, it looks heated up.
So I want to say it's translucent, maybe.
It is. Yeah, you can kind of see the wood grain underneath.
Right. Oh yeah. So look at that.
I'll put it this way: when anybody who's played Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past on the Super Nintendo, they get to this part where they temper the Master Sword. It's like the Master Sword was like your first sword upgrade. You had this really basic kind of weak, puny sword in the beginning. You get the Master Sword, and then in order to defeat stronger enemies, they temper it, and it had like this goldish brass kind of color, like what we see with this. As soon as I saw it, it reminded me of that, and I was like, "That's kind of cool." I wonder if that's what inspired the look for this. Just because I thought it was such a unique look, and that is really cool to see. I would definitely, again, the pieces with this alone are outstanding.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's the first, if I remember correctly, that is the first great sword that has had a scabbard. Like, you've had it on the smaller, like more long swords, but they haven't had one for a great sword.
Gideon Heaven's Brand 2 is the only one. Yeah.
Okay. Right now, and he just came out.
Came out, brand new. Yep.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And it's different.
Yeah, probably. I imagine at least.
I haven't
very, very different. Yeah, very different.
I haven't even opened mine yet. Mustache man.
Which one is Gideon? The one with the fancy mustache?
That's the one that stole Joe's mustache look.
The mustachioed gentleman.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He totally stole.
He is the knight that kisses Sleeping Beauty. That's for sure.
When they're casting the movie, I will be trying out. Just so everybody knows.
You got my.
This is the fiery burning knight.
Are you gonna do like Cesar Romero, Joe, and just hide your beard under like some makeup, or are you gonna actually shave it off?
If I actually got the role, I would cut my beard off. Yeah, I got no problem. There is a chin under here, so I do have one. Yeah.
All right. I'll vote for you.
All right.
Ashen
now, I'm probably going to order an extra set of the Fiery Breath just to get 2 of the Burning Knights. It's just too cool of a figure not to have an extra of.
Yeah, definitely, without a doubt. And again, those extra pieces, I really, really hope this guy gets to that extra level of unlock for all that upgrades. Because that's just too cool not to get all of that.
Well, right now, this is the only thing that's truly unlocked, except that it's got to unlock the dragon to get it. But this is actually unlocked, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. And that flame effect to add to the sword, it's just another really cool addition.
Yeah, that flame on the sword is really badass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the same one that came with Beyithir, and it's a really fun flame effect. For sure.
Ashen Zombies looking good.
Oh, yeah.
This is like one of this and the creature body I'm really just into because it just adds so much variety to the look of stuff. I want an all brown one, like an aesthetic kind of thing.
So, I mean, this is the Red Death body, the Mask of the Red Death. It's that zombie body. But they really haven't used it on too much else. It's really just the Mask of the Red Death, both versions, and this. That's it. That's the only one that you get that full zombie.
As far as the torso. Yeah, the full torso.
Right.
You get the legs, the arm parts.
Yeah.
Right. Everything else comes in the Undead Builder pack. Which you get right now. But, except for that rags around the waist, too. But that's been on a couple other figures as well at this point. But, yeah. For that main torso build.
Brick, where are we at with the dragons right now? I know you had the
Dragon Report. It's about 1700, and the specific is here 1815.
1815. Nice.
Yep, the Baywatch.
91%.
It's been a really steady growth. Like like there hasn't really been a lull. It's just been steadily growing.
I had no doubt that it was going to fund. I think people just needed a time to figure out what their financial situation was and everything else, and what they were going to do for it, and
a lot of it is that
all they were going to go in on.
Low number.
Yeah.
It's a relatively low number to reach production for this.
It absolutely is.
Well, that was one of the most exciting parts for me. Is I felt like they really were in tune with the idea of keeping these goals to a realistic standard. And what I mean by a realistic standard is they realize that although, again, the Cabal is not the end all to be all of Mythic Legion's fans, right? It is much larger than the Cabal.
Yep.
And that's not to say that, again, everybody can afford to get one of these or anything like that. But in order to hopefully guarantee to the that this thing actually gets brought into reality, that goal of 2,000 is a lot lower than what we've seen from other crowdfund projects, where they might have a much larger audience, right? Who's to say? Could they have made the Dragon cheaper if they had the backing at 10,000 units? Probably. Could they reasonably assume they might get 10,000 units sold? Probably not.
You're walking a really fine line there. It's like
right.
You want to set the number low enough that people, are pretty much guaranteed to get it at a certain price that people are willing to pay for it, right? Because, like you said, you could go to 10,000 units and drop it down by a couple $100 maybe. That's still going to be a struggle. You're still going to have a struggle for people that
right at 300
making this type of investment for what is essentially a toy. I mean, that's ultimately where we're at, right?
And I honestly wonder. I mean, it would be great if all of those sold, but like I'm still trying to wrap my head around what happens when they do have 6,000 orders of these things. That means 6,000 of these things are going to end up in their warehouse, or they're going to have, like, I'm sure they have contingencies and have planned it out, but like this is a relatively small company, like, and they're going to be.
Have you shown the images with the
things.
box?
I haven't yet.
If we could bring that up real quick to kind of give you an idea of
this is going to be like every show where we're only talking about the dragon, but check
it's kind of hard not to right now. Yeah, so for anybody wondering, each one of these boxes is essentially one piece of the dragon. So you can see there, Fiery Breath, how big that is, the Epic Wings, how big that is, and Beyithir itself. And mind you, they've said that the Beyithir dragon, you're talking 30 to 35 pounds was like the minimum he was saying, which means it could be heavier. This is massive. Like anybody who's seen how big those troll boxes are, just to get an idea of what you're looking at here. And is it Gaspar up there? He's about 5'8", 5'9". And meeting him in person, I'd say about. So yeah, that's how big those boxes are.
And Tiffany, I think it's Tiffany. It might be Vaz, I'm not sure, but the price is very reasonable when you compare it to other figures. It absolutely is, and you're getting, it's not that it's expensive, right? It's a big chunk of change, but it's worth it for what you're getting between the sculpting and the paint and the design, and we know they put out quality stuff, so it's like,
yeah, without a doubt, it's not to say that this isn't worth every single penny. It absolutely is. Honestly, I feel that way about most Four Horsemen products, and I wouldn't be as much of a, people use that term all the time, shill. I wouldn't push their products this hard if I didn't fully believe every word of this that I'm saying. And they don't pay me. Like, I wish. I don't wish. I wish they'd just give me more figures, but I'd accept that as payment, but to talk the way I do about these guys. But really, it's the artistry and everything else that just goes into these. always wins me over. Every single figure I bought from these guys is a work of art, and I've been beyond satisfied. And that's why I changed my collecting habits entirely because of these guys.
I have bought a few of their figures. And I have
just a couple.
Joe,
just a
which
few.
ones do you have, Joe? Can you list them?
I don't know. I can't count that high, but I have yet to be disappointed with any of them. I mean, the quality is always good. The sculpts are amazing. The paintwork is amazing. They're just, it's and then when you meet them in person and talk to them, they're the type of guys who care about putting out a good product.
Exactly. Alan was just saying, right? They definitely care about what they're producing. They're not just throwing stuff out there to make money. They are fans. They are, toy collectors and geeks, and they care about, the stuff they put out, the product, and the community's reaction to it. So
maybe it doesn't show up here on my camera as much, but I was just holding up the scale, the little, hourglass here that comes with Maxilius the Harvester. The amount of paint detail on an accessory, just a little accessory.
Yep.
And this wasn't any kind of special campaign item or anything like that. Just that amount of detail put into something
even the
like
books they produced. I mean, they got like the leather clasp on them and stuff, and the buckles are all painted and everything. I mean,
their belts, books, like everything that they put into this line. There's no lack of detail and effort that goes into these that just make it worth every single penny.
Well, let's say we run through some other toys real quick, and since we've talked about the dragon and it's been talked about to the death of the dragon.
Shit, there's other toys.
Yeah, there's other toys. Let's talk about some other stuff like Conan.
Hey, by Crom.
I
forgot. Menhoza.
That was Menhoza said Crom.
Yeah, so this is the Frazetta Girls entry. Their figures are done by Icon Collectibles. This is their entry into a Conan the Barbarian action figure as depicted by their grandfather and father. The Frazetta Girls are a couple different women. Frank Frazetta. And so this was a newer shot today, or newer series of photos. We hadn't yet seen the solicitation for the this unhelmeted head, who kind of reminds me of John Saxon. I don't know if you all are Enter the Dragon and a bunch of other films. Right here, I get a little bit of that vibe there, and that's a good thing, actually.
The one thing I'll say about like the Frazetta Girls stuff that they have made is it is really spot on to the source material, right? When you look at this figure, this is a Frazetta Conan. When you look at the Norseman, it's the Frazetta Norseman, right? When you the Dark Wolf and I forgot the girl's name, Tigra, right? They look like they did in the cartoons. I mean, so do they lack a little bit of articulation here or there, or is it different from what you see a lot of companies doing nowadays? Yes, but these things like this picture right here jump off the page just like it's the work of art that it's representing.
Yeah. So a couple weekends ago, I was making the legendary barbarian figure I got from Four Horsemen, customizing it up a little bit, trying to make it look a little bit like my ideal image of Conan, which is very much inspired from Frank Frazetta's art. And I mean, if you just look at some of the newer pictures they got out, and of course, it's a little loose on him, the armor, but the way he looks and the way that they've got it, like, I feel like I really kind of nailed the look I was going for, because it's not far off from what they are putting out. And that made me really, really happy. I mean,
we're having a Conan renaissance now, right? We got Mezco with their 3 Conans, and now they just released the Arnold Conan. Let me try getting the words out. Words are hard.
Yeah, the one.
Then we got the Four Horsemen doing their Conan, He-Man, Barbarian triple pack. That's not really a triple pack. And now you got this Conan. And is Savage Crucible doing one too?
Yes, they are doing the ball and chain warrior.
Ball and chain one, right?
Not a
which
Conan,
again is
not a
based
Conan.
off of another Frank Frazetta depiction of Conan.
Barbarian with ball and chain.
Frazetta was just so awesome for all of us, right? Like I'm tempted. I got the black ramen van, and I'm tempted to just go get the white one and hire someone to do some airbrushing of like a Frazetta artwork along the side of it.
Oh yeah.
I'll also say, if you take a look at the knees, we're getting some doubles going on there.
Join the knees now.
I wouldn't be surprised if these turn, but I don't know. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Who knows?
It looks like they got a little turn in there.
Didn't they do? I think they did the boot cut with the Norseman too, though. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is in there.
Arms still look single, but I really love what's going on with this.
The chest looks
ab crunch.
Yeah, and the chest ab cut there. That looks really great. Assuming this is a ball. What about,
it looks
there.
like it would be, but it's hard to tell from just photography.
Right. Head looks fantastic in this shot in particular. Love all the accessories are great. The weathering on that helm. This is my favorite thing. That's the shield. The shield detail and the actual straps. That's the one thing. Both, and so I'm not talking ill. Well, I'm making notes. Mythic Legions, one of my least favorite things is the way that they do the shields, and Ewok does the same thing. Two of my favorite lines.
Yep.
So this is the shield from Legendary Barbarian, and you got that little C clamp.
Yep.
Yeah.
You got the C clamp, or you get, if I can find where I have one.
The handle.
Right here. Yeah, here we go. I got one in a bag still. So they got that little handle in there.
Yep.
And again, something that just breaks off real easily. Whereas
it's a functional piece, but if like a picture like this with the shield from the backside, right? You're not going to get that with a Legion or Ewok, right? I mean, that looks legit, right?
Yep. And that's one of the other things. Look at how bland the back of this shield is. And I mean, again, that's if I'd have to say there was something that they could use a little bit more detail on, but again, it's a toy, and honestly, if they're cutting an expense on the back of the shield, I'm okay with
I said, it's functional, right? It still works.
Totally works.
But this looks great. It just looks great.
But like the holster, the sheet that the sword is sitting in, right? That's got the detail on it, the way it's got a chain hanging it on the back of that. I mean,
the metal chain.
Damn, right? I mean, that's just
the hook.
Incredible. Yeah.
The Mezco one's kind of like that too, if I remember.
Yep.
Yeah.
But and then I love this look. The face, I will say again, I can't not see it because I'm an old guy. But I think I love Mezco's face. There's something about that looks like the worked oil. But this looks good too. I do like this head.
It really does.
And they're gonna give us this. This is the pile that he stands on in one of those paintings. A much taller pile of skulls and stuff.
Right.
But given what they did for Vampirella, I'd be surprised if they shipped a Conan without it. And let's see, actually. Oh, well, I wonder.
You know what? Here's the thing, though, right? In the initial shots of Vampirella, they didn't show necessarily that the graveyard little thing that it was standing on came with it. I honestly thought that was something that Trevor put together for the shot.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea until was it a month later is when they showed, it comes with that piece.
Yep.
And I was like, that is really, really cool.
Frazetta girls do that a lot, though, with the Icon collectibles and stuff. They show off a little bit, and then they go and show off a little more detail, like this, right? They showed off that helmeted head when they first did the release, and now you're seeing the unhelmeted, long hair type head. So
right, which is again, that's one of the things that I've really wanted from a figure is Conan's great with the helmet, but I'd like him without it. So I'm really glad that they've also shown this off because, man, it is just smart looking. Really.
Thursday at 12 p.m. Eastern, we will know what exactly is in it. So,
did they do a price? Did they launch a price for this one yet? 'Cause I know
Not
like the
yet.
Norseman was 70, right? And Dark Wolf was the same. 70,
Yeah, they've kind of
50?
all been around like $70 to $80
Yeah.
in that range. So I mean, again, but that's right up there with the amount of detail you're getting. And again, it's a licensed property, mind you. It's licensed from Frazetta Girls, so I'm not sure, you know,
Yeah.
if that's really factoring into the cost we're paying, but it's a cost that a lot of people are willing to pay. Especially, I've been a huge fan of Frazetta since I was a little kid. Since even before I knew who Frazetta was, I was
Yep.
just blown away by his artwork. So to see all of these come out and to be like, wow, like I can put this physical representation in my collection, that's wild to me. That's just wild. And all of these have been incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah, they've all been $70 on
Yeah.
release.
So there you go. So
Is
pretty
that
much
the
we're
Death
looking at
Dealer
some.
they got up there?
No, these are ornaments.
Oh, that's the ornament. I was gonna say.
Yeah. It's all Dark Wolf.
Yep, they're cool. I like them. Again, you know, they're just different. It's funny. Like I know there's a tendency to be like, oh, they don't articulate or whatever. It's such a crapshoot to talk about these things because
Right.
it's true. Like there's that, but then the level of detail and paint on these is right up there with what Horsemen are doing.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, so I've got some really great, highly articulated stuff, and then they don't do the same sculpt and paint. So
you know, like my Norseman from Frazetta Girls, right? I haven't been able to. I like even with the articulation not being what not being super articulated. Let's just say, right? I have no trouble getting him into any pose that I want him to get into, as far as like this type of character would be fighting.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's like you just got to take some time, get the right angle. You're going to get a great shot. And like you said, the details and the sculpting and all that, I mean, just make it so you can't take a bad picture anyway, right?
Yeah, I mean, dude, he's like chilling by the fire.
Yeah.
It's
awesome. And I mean, of course, Trevor, 1/6 shooter, he makes
Yeah.
everything that he fucking snaps looks, like $1 million. Bastard.
Yeah.
The man that made me spend more money in the last
I know,
2
right?
I think anybody else, just because his pictures sell me like those old commercials we used to watch for different toys when we were kids, right?
Yeah.
Like they just looked like they were so much fun to play with. And every time I look at Trevor's pictures, and it's even worse because now I have his calendar up on my freaking wall, so I look at it every day. And I just love it. Absolutely. I mean, look, you can tell I was one of like the first people to like it down there. You see that? That 2,115. You see my icon in there. You know I jumped on this.
I am like very, very likely going to pre-order this.
I think the variety of Conans is good too. If you don't
You
like
get
to
what you
build
like.
on one, you just there's so many good ones out there now. You can't really go wrong. Just find the one that you like and go with it, or get them.
And they all have a different, like you said, Joe. They all have a very different build, but you can tell by looking at it that it's Conan, right? It's like
I missed out on the Mezcos because they're a little bit out of my price range. So like Savage Crucible put up Ball and Chain Warrior, and again, that's a very representation of Conan without calling it Conan. And I was like, okay, got to get that guy. Backed it, pre-ordered it, and then just a couple weeks ago, Four Horsemen dropped this on me, and I was like, oh wow. I was already thinking about picking up that Lemurian, but I started looking at the Lemurian, the Shield of Desaria or whatever. Their con exclusive for the next year. I was looking at the accessories on that and already planning on putting it on one of my Barbarian figures that I had. And then with this actual Barbarian figure, I was like, that is just basically how I picture Conan looking in my mind. And it's because now I don't necessarily feel like I'm going to miss out if I don't get this, but I'm not saying this isn't off the table yet either, because it's definitely on the table right now, and I don't know.
Well, you know what?
It's on the table for this earring alone, Ross. Look at these earrings.
Yeah, look at them hoops. Look at them hoops.
That's
he was
nice
a pirate on the Black Coast.
Yeah,
nice thing to see about it's the age that we're living in now. If you miss out on the Mezco Conan, right? I missed out on the first two, and because it just wasn't in my budget at the time, right? order the King Conan, which I love. And now look at all the Conans that are coming. And it's just like, had I missed out on that other Conan, I probably would have been upset. But knowing that these ones are out there now, I can go easily grab them and just be just as happy, right?
Yeah. You don't feel like you missed out as much anymore.
For the 4-H stuff at all. I mean,
now it looks like they added some articulation to the knees, though, right? That wasn't on their previous figures.
Yeah, these are definitely double knees now.
New double knees.
So,
and again, it looks very
have double knees.
No,
those photos didn't look like it. So
no, I don't think he does. I can't remember, but no, he doesn't. He doesn't.
But this definitely has those double knees, and again, it does look like they added the nice little boot cut. We got that the detail and where they hid the ab crunch with the chest up at the top.
I know,
like that's nice. That is a really nice cut right there for that. I think it looks great, and honestly, like the only thing it looks like it's truly missing. Maybe a little bit more of a butterfly and the bicep swivel, and it's in. I mean, double elbows might not be too bad, but I don't picture Conan trying to touch his shoulder with his thumb much.
Yeah, it won't have the bicep, right? But if it's like Vampirella, it's got this really cool thing that it does. It's not quite. It's not a. There's a twist on the at the shoulder, which is really cool on a ball.
And that's cool too, because again, that's something.
Yeah, when you get that muscular, from what I've seen, it kind of limits your range of.
I know I can barely touch my shirt.
Look, okay, I'm not even that buff, and I can't bring my thumb to my shoulder. So, all right,
that Conan is jacked.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be doing any crazy
that's like
maneuvers.
Somebody was talking about the Brutal Rum and how big the chest is on the Brutal Rum figures, right?
Yeah.
The basics. And, like if you take a look at like what is typically the barbarians, right? This is the build. And that's what Brutal Rum went for, right? This is the build. I mean, the big pecs, cut stomach. I mean, it's just, that's the build.
That very fantasy-esque large barbarian look, right? Yeah.
That alien world that has steroids in the water, because everybody is just like,
it's not steroids. It's just
what I'm saying,
water.
Man.
You remember the brothers that were in like those barbarian movies back in the 80s?
Yeah,
Barbarian Brothers. Two twin brothers. Yeah,
those guys were monsters.
Yeah, I mean that's just really kind of that ideal image of what people think about. And really, honestly, it doesn't matter. They're toys, guys. Again, these are all toys. Enjoy it. Have fun with it. Who cares if it's really real or not? I am a toy.
Do we have time to look at a little more?
Let's look at. I'm good.
Okay, let's see. I know. I especially want to talk about this because our host is such a big squatch himself.
Yes.
Odious is going to be. You wanted to let everyone know and remind everyone he was actually looking to go in April with his second Kickstarter. So it's still part of the plan, right? Obviously, there's a lot of things going on between just what we talked about today, Space Zombies. That'll be ending like right at the beginning of April. And then you've got Beyithir that'll be sort of bleeding into April. And that's where this guy's coming in. Now for this one, it's going to be multiple variants. So this is his original character. This is Wade from Unparalleled Universe over on YouTube or here on YouTube. There's a whole concept that Odious can, sort of exist in different time periods and embody different people. And so hence the different looks. So the one that we got the first time came with the flannel. There's a couple different variants that are out there, like for a Legion's Con one and
slasher
like a Jason Voorhees. Yeah. And so this is Joe one. Is pretty cool. The soft goods, man, on point.
I'm digging that Vietnam Sergeant Rock look of this Odious.
The Odious figure was amazing in itself, and then the soft goods that they included with it were just absolutely incredible.
Rebel 10, I want to say. Yeah, those are Rebel 10.
Yeah, Rebel 10.
Gorgeous. She does fantastic work. These figures are great. The body's fun. I love putting on like AWOC stuff with them. It totally reminds me. It's got all like the the movement where it counts, and I think it's cool. And from what I, from prototyping at least, these look like they'll be even the heads will be a little bit different, a little bit more detail. You can kind of see that here.
That head looks awesome right there.
Yeah, but that's only one. So here's the concept art for it. Shout out Irwin Papa, Lakewood, California. It's kind of near where I grew up. And then there's a cowboy coming that is going to have a he sort of, I want to say he held it up once very quickly, and I tried to look for it before this, but I couldn't find it. But he's going to come with a serape.
Yeah, he showed it off way back when I think the first Odious was released. He showed that cowboy one off, and I'm going to need the cowboy one. I just finished building my cowboy diorama, so
yeah, and it's a cool look. It's like it's a very cool look for a cowboy too, very different.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited about that. So this is cool, and then there's also going to be my favorite. This was at Legion's Con. What I keep referring to it as the Yeti, but he's like, no, it's an Inuit Odious, and I think the soft goods on this are
definitely a Yeti.
Yeah,
I'd want to buy the soft goods set alone, just because, like, it's that
great. It's gorgeous,
gorgeous look of like warm weather primitive gear.
Mm-hmm.
And I could see it working on so many other toys, and again, Odious himself is impressive as all hell wearing it. Yep. I love the alternate look to him.
So this was a couple weeks ago on his Tuesday show, and he did sort of share a little bit, and you can kind of see the prototype, and just it's cool. It's exciting. Yet another like cool indie toy maker with an idea, and it's super unique. There's the notion of this like, demon thing.
I'm really liking the Yeti version.
Yeah, me too.
My brother does. He works with metal, and he has a laser cutter there, so he cuts things out of like sheet metal. Makes signs and stuff. That's not his job, but he does that in the shop because he can. So the other day he showed me a picture. He's making me a Bigfoot crossing sign to hang in my living room out of metal.
Sweet.
Nice.
Well, since we're there, let's go here.
Yes.
That's not the only, Bigfoot, Sasquatch, potentially Yeti with some paint.
Yep.
The Crypt, which is a loose collectors thing, they released that two things now in the Crypt, and actually we could talk about it because this is like just a very early prototype painted. I don't know, it's a maquette. I don't know really.
Yeah, that's about right. Maquette.
Yeah. Here's the sculpt. Not the final sculpt, but they wanted to sort of see the reference. So here it is. And so this is one of the figures in the Crypt line, and that's their Jekyll and Hyde.
And that thing is massive.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's their largest one to date.
Yeah.
Is Hyde. And as you can see, this dwarfs him already.
Sorry, Adam. Sorry, Alan.
Alan, Shannon's going to kill me.
Yeah. And in this Crypt, they're supposed to be doing the Bigfoot, the Yeti, and then a third figure that's not announced yet for this Crypt series.
For this particular one, which is
for
insane. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And if you want to, I was going to say, keep rolling with it. Because I know exactly what we got here. This is.
Well, I'm also not sure if. Are you sure that the hide is small, bigger than
their Great Wolves? Yes.
Yes.
Because they said it.
Yeah, not by much, but.
Right. They've said that the hide is the largest thing they've put out to date.
Okay.
That's where I got that.
Sorry, Tiffany. Another must buy. This show's getting expensive. Yeah.
Never watch us on a Saturday night, then, please.
Yeah, dude. And then this is the Minotaur.
Brick, you have the Minotaur, right?
I do. I just don't have him. Oh, wait. No, I do. What am I saying?
But how big is he compared to the Great Wolf? Because that'll tell you.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. I have that Minotaur. It's not small. For
He's
sure.
a little taller than Minotaur. and the hide is a little bit taller and bulkier for sure than the wolf. So
I don't know if you look at where that now again. This is
No,
from
I do.
Loose
That's what I say. I
Collector.
think it's bigger. He's taller and he stands.
might
But
be
the thing
taller,
is,
yeah.
but he can do. He's usually hunched over.
Right.
Right. So, and again, the information I got was just from Loose Collector themselves, where they said it. Now,
But they
Brick,
might
you're
also
gonna
be
make me go
talking about
buy
how
that
massive
his
hide is,
bulk
right? Because
is,
I mean, he
right?
is a
How
huge
thick
torso.
he is.
I mean, dude is crazy. Yeah.
Maybe they meant when they said their biggest thing to date, they meant heaviest because he looks like he'd be a heavier than the wolf.
I still love my War Bear. Memory Toys, now Medi Toys. I don't know. I know a lot of people were like weirded out by like the fur and the color. I think it's a fun weirdo thing. I got this and the panda.
This is the bear.
I'd rather have that than the Ursa Major Build-A-Figure that Marvel put out.
Hang on to that idea. This is, I think this is a Diamond Select. I'm not sure though.
It looks like the Diamond Select. It does.
I think that's what they were going for because
than-
the
that's
Diamond
bigger
Select
than
is
the
bigger
Legends.
than Legends.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you got
The
Sasquatch from Alpha Flight.
Yeah. And that's the Build-A-Figure version too.
Mm-hmm.
And no shade, but there's Odious.
There's Odious. He's hanging
naked.
in there.
Yeah, he's like, what are we looking at? What are we looking at, guys? I can't see anything.
What am I in line for?
Where did you guys get
what am I in line
pants?
for? Is this the Legion's line? What's going on?
It's the hella dope poop line.
Just picture him looking at him going, uppies.
But this thing is going to be amazing, and I prefer this look versus this look personally, but they're both cool. I like, and hopefully they'll do different. I'm assuming they'll do different heads, right?
Well, they already said that it's coming with both heads.
Oh, okay.
So it's going to have the stoic head and this angry
and this monster head.
But in this one, it just looks a little wider to me. But it does say scale reference, not final sculpt. But the only downfall I will say for the wolf is that it just took really a lot of time to loosen it up. But whatever. I'm absolutely in love with it, and I was really genuinely scared to open it.
As a Sasquatch fanatic myself, right? I'm gonna have to get this and the Yeti, and I am so excited about taking them to the crick. It's not even funny.
Alan's just gonna buy this and turn it into a Beast Man.
Yeah. Which the store says that's one hell of an evolution chart of creatures.
Right.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Darwin's like, what the hell is
cool.
this?
You guys remember, like, we got action figures, Marvel Legends or whatever, and then they started experimenting with Build-A-Figures, and they got bigger and bigger. Then right around this point, like, I was so excited, and it was kind of ridiculous because I'm like, between my ogre scales, between this, like, how much bigger am I going to get? Then they're like, Minotaurs. Okay, I need both of them. And then the wolf. But there's no shortage of, like, not only like the cool standard 6-inch, 7-inch figures, but they're messing with scale, body type, fur.
Another reason I'm not getting the dragon, because I know the hide is like $105 on BBTS, so these Sasquatches are probably going to be like 100.
They're going for that 120, 130 range, I'd imagine. And again, they're going to be worth every penny of that if you can afford it. As much as I was just telling you over how if you can afford the dragon, like, honestly, all of these toys, they might be a little pricier for some people, but I gotta say again, if you can afford it, you should. Like, just give it a shot. Give it a chance for science, as Brick will often say.
Yes.
And you will not be disappointed at all.
You imagine you're like back in the day, you're like, I got to get that Marvel Legends Sasquatch figure. I got to build it because when am I ever going to get a Sasquatch?
I wanted it.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. Well, that shows the great time that we live in, that it only takes one company to take a chance and say, I'm going to build a giant figure and just see if people will buy it. And then when they do, everybody wants in on that bandwagon, for sure.
And the best part is we all win, right? They win because they're making something that they enjoy, that they want to put out there into the world. We get to enjoy their creative outlet and what they're doing and bring it into our play worlds.
I think every single figure in that lineup was something that a creator was like, I really want to do that.
Exactly. You're right.
Yeah, without a doubt. Right. The passion is absolutely there.
Yeah.
And even back to like these comic book guys, like, can you imagine, like, again, having created these characters on a page, having no idea what was going to happen with it. And now years down the line, you're watching people are making, again, these figures with it, not just in a toy sense, but they're bringing your creation to life in their own way. That is cool, man.
Well,
that
like the
is
Minotaurs,
so
right?
cool.
I mean, like I remember watching Sinbad, and there was the Minotaur sailing that damn ship many, many, many years ago when I was a child, and I was like, I always wanted to have a Minotaur figure.
Well, again, there's a story of Conan going through a labyrinth to seek a treasure, and I mean, it was a shape changed creature or something like that. At the end was the Minotaur, but again, like, to me, all these epic adventures in my head surrounding one of my heroes from childhood and stories. It's great to be able to buy different things to make that happen and be able to play that out now. And you can recreate iconic scenes like that. Something that's only ever been imagined through written word and what you can picture in your head. Now you can bring to life in your own way.
Comic creators, shout out Stanley, Jack Kirby for giving us the Hulk. Shout out John Byrne for giving us Sasquatch. And shout out Wade, because I know that comic book is coming. That's his thing. He loves comics too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And if you're looking for just a basic Sasquatch type figure, I mean, Odious is great for the price. You get the soft goods. You can take all the soft goods off and make just a Sasquatch type figure. And he scales perfectly with all the rest of your 6-inch figures.
Yeah, the thing about that is just it's a cool idea. It is a Sasquatch, but it's a whole other world of magic.
And then again, like, you got Operation Monster Force, who's going to be releasing a Sasquatch and a Yeti, probably in more of the, I'd say, the War Bear size type.
Yeah, it was originally going to use that body. They switched it up. Yeah. Here, I've got a swerve, and it's kind of a fun plug.
Like
Sunday, I'll be talking with these guys from Haxon House, talking about their new line, The Dark, which is going to be cool because I love different things, as folks know. So this is John and Anthony over here. We'll be hanging out with them, talking some occult themed toys, making my mother angry, and maybe Jesus, Mary.
Rick is going to single-handedly bring back satanic panic here.
So Terrence, the best way to get Odious, I would definitely go all in on his, get him with whatever soft goods he is. But there's going to be another Kickstarter for the next versions of Odious coming up in April.
Yep. Not to mention, Terrence, you're going to be frequenting cons, so I'm pretty sure you'll be able to catch up with Wade somewhere along the way too. Because again, remember that one Odious was a Legion's Con exclusive. He sold out like real fast from what I heard.
Oh yeah, man. He's talking about some fun ideas for Legion's Con, including some potential like transparent stuff, and for this next Legion's Con. He loved it, had a great time, and will definitely be back there. So
Allison says, greetings. What did I miss? Did Moby get a house dropped on him yet?
Not yet.
Still trying my aims.
But we can send some demons his way. So anyway, this Sunday we're going to talk about this stuff, and it's genuinely still freaky. Like I was raised in a household that taught me to not look at these things and to be scared of them. And so it's going to be good therapy this weekend to talk to these guys, both currently working at NECA. One of them used to work at McFarlane. Like they're industry folks as well, and so they know some folks that are currently working at Four Horsemen. So it'd be nice to kind of sit with them and talk about this line, because it is different, right? It's they're going for a very different angle, drawing from very different inspiration.
Now, what are they calling themselves? What's their Instagram is what I'm trying to say.
So okay, got it. So it's Haxon House, one word.
Haxon House, okay.
Nice.
HAXAN House. I'm assuming after the old horror movies.
Yep.
But and the line is going to be called The Dark. At least this first one. You got like a Count Orlok, come in. You've got this. I love this ghost. This is like one of my favorites. Where is she? This crone is dope.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That hag immediately
one
jumps out at me.
Yeah. Is she
I'm
awesome?
loving the classical depiction here.
Yeah.
What they're doing.
Yeah.
Very
it's so cool.
Yeah, that is cool. Hags.
I would definitely.
I'm such a D&D guy. Anything that jumps out at me, as a D&D thing, hags are such a big part of classic Dungeons and Dragons. It makes me immediately want that figure.
I'm with you, Joe. Like, I want a good, like, classic witch, old crone, look. And that is answering that on all levels.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the sculpt details. So we'll talk all about these things. But this is the one that I love the idea. The face, the spirit, like she's got a sword and she can totally float with her feet hanging down.
I dig
it.
Really
I like weird stuff. I like variety. It doesn't get much weirder than this. This is totally gonna piss my mom off. But
does your mom watch your show?
What is that? That's so ugly. That's so ugly.
If you keep that in that room you're in, you will never have to worry about her coming back over and kicking you out.
Sorry. I was talking about my mother, but Joanna's mother. Oh, yeah. No good. That's even.
It is kind of ironic.
Are you brave enough?
We were taught to avoid these kind of things, but at the same time, we're told stories about them to scare us into being good.
Yeah,
right?
It's true. It's true,
right? I mean, it's the whole reason we're taught a lot of this folklore as kids to, make sure that we didn't stray down the.
That's where a lot of folklore comes from, right? Is keeping kids in line.
Unfortunately, I got, my wires mixed or something because it totally pulled me further in to the darker side of things, and I
have an uncle who
hang out with these guys.
I have an uncle who
they make music. I mean, come on.
Really into art, always has been into art. Like he had a job offer to work for Marvel and Disney when he was a young guy, right? And was married and stuff and turned it down because it just wasn't right for his life at the time. But him and his buddy have been playing the same game of D&D. He's like 68, 70 years old now. They've been playing since they were in their 20s. The same game of D&D. They live, he lives, my uncle lives right close to me, but his buddy lives in like Florida or something. So he comes up every year. Once a year, they get together and actually play the game still. Once a year, they play this game. And they all both come in as the dungeon master and stuff like that. So, like, all this stuff was just, like, normal for me. It was like, my mom was like, that's the Satan stuff. I'm like, yeah, but Uncle Dave says it's cool, and that's your brother, so it's okay, right?
It's so ridiculous, too. I was watching I saw a reel that had clips from that Tom Hanks the 1980s mazes and monsters.
The movie they did about Dungeons and Dragons and such.
Right. Watching those clips nowadays, it's ridiculous. Like it's almost like a comedy what they were trying to portray Dungeons and Dragons to be.
All I gotta say is Reefer Madness, right? Like go back and watch that.
All of that stuff. Yeah. It's video games are bad. All of this stuff. TikTok is bad. I gotta
tell you, all those teenage years playing Mortal Kombat and Grand Theft Auto turned me into a murdering crime boss.
Never play your Black Sabbath album backwards. Even though I tried.
When I saw Oz at Legion's Con, he tried to shove his hand in my chest and pull out my spine.
Right.
But yeah,
it's just natural reaction, natural reflex.
That's how Oz greets people. He still has my heart in his backpack from PowerCon somewhere.
Rick looked at me really funny as I sat there with my hands like this, repeatedly over and over again as he just kind of stood there. And I'm like, I'm talking. And he's just like, what?
That was good.
He had a protection spell on him.
That's what it
was.
This Sunday.
Stuff.
Yeah. This Sunday, I'm excited because I haven't seen many folks talk about it, and it resonates with me just because there is a little bit of this like sort of, deep deeply ingrained stuff. I know a lot of folks that this would really, really bother, and I get that. And I'm not doing it to be rebellious, but like, hey, this is cool. We've got D13, and you've got the dark.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and this is like, to me, this is right up that same D13 alley where you're getting that, again, these very historical representation and artwork and such going into these, and I am just always fascinated with that.
But I mean, like, what type of world we living in now, right? We have the opportunity to own demon action figures and an action figure of a legit looking Jesus Christ. I mean, how awesome is this world we live in?
It's true. And we get to find out who's more articulated. So
all right, Alan, have a good night, man. Thank you.
Yeah, I know we're going long, but I'll just say,
tell her it's not my fault.
Yeah,
we'll end on
my wife.
One.
Yeah,
we'll end on so on the other part of the world, right? And this is part of why I came to realize, like, oh man, people believe all sorts of different things, and I'm missing out. I felt like I've missed out on getting to know a lot of stuff, like coming out of China, for example. This whole notion of the investiture of the gods and this whole like classic fantasy literature coming out of there, and all these awesome characters. Like, this is fancy realm. I've got this guy, I've got the two little ghosts. And so they've got a couple more things going based on Chinese gods. I've shared with you guys on our chat all the time, Neja, who I just had a great time watching the animated movie that came out, I think it's 2019, about it, and the sequel's right now in theaters, and it's like crazy, breaking all sorts of box office records for being anyways. But all these different characters that they can draw from, like, cool, give me the demons of hell, give me Jesus Christ, give me Incredible Hulk, give me a Sasquatch, give me Beyithir the dragon, and let's throw in some Chinese gods and immortals in the mix, you know?
Yep. Like, give me so many more of them, because they are just so vibrant and crazy looking. Love it. Like, it drives a fire of creativity, and you seeing something like this, like, wow, this is intense.
So there it says, fancy realm, culture, and creative focuses on creating 1/12 scale figures inspired by Chinese mythology and history. We stay true to our roots, and we are committed to promoting authentic Chinese cultural creativity to the world, which is just like cool that is possible now.
And the detail on the sculpts is amazing.
100%. This is one that I got instantly, and they've since been upgrading it, and I'll show you that in a second. But they've upgraded it because of the movie, and it's done so well that they're like throwing in new heads and stuff to kind of mimic some of the movie looks. And I'll show that again in a bit. But some of these characters are like being made by multiple companies, right? Noda's got some great ones, like the whole Sun Wukong. Four Horsemen did theirs with a figure obscura. We're going to get Black Myth Wukong video games. There's all sorts of folks doing it. And then with these, we're getting like the Azure line coming out of this, and they're doing it also by
I keep
Fury
looking at
Toys.
that on 5K there. That what the hell's his name? Looks like that character you were just showing, the cat looking dude.
That goat man.
This one?
Yeah. What's that one that's on 5K right now? He looks like that guy.
Oh, the new one that just came out?
Yeah,
not
he's like the big great
Blade Master
Wen,
but
no, he's
now you're gonna make me pull up IG.
Oh, you're talking about the Medi Toys one?
Yeah, what the hell is that guy's
Okay,
name?
well, here, if I said we this would be the last one, but I can quickly zoom in. You can get some quick looks, because I'm prepped.
Oh yeah, you're prepped. I know you are.
He's there. But even some of these we haven't seen yet. So I'm just excited again that these exist, and that we have an outlet for them and a market for them. And I think I suspect the market is much bigger, just like that Ninja movie that most of us here in the West have never heard of. But it's like, look it up, go check it out. Even Hollywood is tripping out on how much money that movie's doing.
Like the thing is we have, like, you got your independent lines, right? Like Fresh Monkey Fiction and Four Horsemen Savage Crucible. But then you got these guys like over in China and stuff making these figures that are just absolutely mind blowing. And the figures, like, that whole thing about, it's Chinese garbage and stuff like that, like so untrue about these figures, right? I mean, it's just like mind blowing how good these figures are. Like that Mantenna looking chick you got, the whatever the hell her name is, the Mantis girl.
Oh yeah. Sexy Ice, baby.
Yeah, I mean, like, how crazy is that figure? I mean,
so the tiger you were thinking about is Meditoy's Adventurers World Tiger Vanguard, and forgive me if I'm not pronouncing this correctly, Jinshan Jun.
Oops, spoilers. It's there. Well, I'll have it in a sec.
Wait, go back to the goat.
Go back to that goat.
Yeah.
Yes, we will get there. Okay, so here's this, and then this is Neja, and then this is the update. I'm excited about this one in particular. Really cool character too, awesome story, at least the movie version. But here's the update that they're adding in. Again, they're just like, the movie's doing so well. There's particular looks there that are super iconic, so they're just adding these in. They're adding the new head in.
I love the look of the broadswords too with that, and the paint app detail on it. Wow.
Killer. Look at the arms and the whole, like, I don't know if you caught that here earlier, but
the
stuff like
articulation on these arms.
And it's it's both the design and like the weapons that we don't get to see normally, and like this stuff here. This stuff. The
That's one thing I
wheels
like. My
that
son
he rides on a flame.
I didn't even notice that the first time through.
Asian fantasy fan, right? So like all these characters, like I show him these, and he's like, "Oh yeah, that's so and so," and da da da. I'm like,
dope.
Yeah, and he's just like, he's got a couple of these figures, not these ones because they're new, but like some of the other ones that come out that are based on like Chinese and Japanese mythology and stuff like that. He loves that stuff. That other one I was thinking of is that Beyithir or whatever, big teeth, that dude that looks like the saber tooth figure. Anyway, this goat looks.
We might get there. I'm not sure.
Awesome.
But check this out. Meh. Like, again, a little bit of Haxon House, but coming out of the East.
See, for me, this screams Baphomet. Like I've been looking for a good Baphomet figure for a long time. I really like what they did with this here.
Well, it's funny. There's been a lot of those too, right? Between the Slayer stuff coming out of Super 7 and the Thundercats guy. So it's just an interest. It's a really, really fascinating time right now in terms of the options that we have. I agree with you. He'd make a great Baphomet.
He's just got that look,
Oh, with the mouth open? Man, that's awesome.
And he's totally got the goat eyes, right?
Oh yeah, the square boxy eyes that are horizontal.
I'll tell you,
pupils.
If this is the Billy Goat that crossed the bridge, that troll's in for a surprise, man. Woo.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Have you seen a Legion's troll?
Right.
Flaming skulls being tossed around. Come on now. Yeah, like all this stuff.
Oh man.
The reaction is yes. That's why I get excited about.
How impressive is it? Just again, the amount of accessories you get in the sculpted detail, the paint apps.
I should say these are the deluxe, and there are simpler versions. But when I'm not going to show them to you, but when you do, you'll realize there's like 2 pieces missing.
Yeah. Good night, Jack, man. Have a good night, brother.
All right, let's see if we can.
But for that price. That's not a bad price for what you're getting.
What's the price?
And that's actually a little bit marked up because it's BBTS.
Yeah.
So you know.
Because again, if you're ordering direct, it's going to be a little bit cheaper. But and think about how much any of us would spend on like a deluxe Mythic Legions figure.
Oh yeah,
right. It's ranging about the same here. Like it really.
I mean, that's how I buy. I buy for like things that I think would fit really well, like in this little world that I want. So sometimes, and almost pretty regularly, it's a Legions figure, a figure obscura, it's an AWOG figure, and then this stuff comes up. It's a little bit dangerous, obviously, because it's like spending here and there, and but it's just it is pretty amazing what's out there. Here, I'll zoom, and I know we won't necessarily get to talk very much about them, but I just want to show you some stuff. This is stuff I've talked about before.
Oh, I want
again. You want
pink.
big stuff.
I want the
Put
pink one, that one there.
Yeah.
Put this guy up against that goat, and I'm not sure who is more scary, but
So this is an Etten, and I've actually been to this page on 5K like 20 times trying to decide whether or not, because
you haven't pulled
again are a classic D&D giant, you know, and it just it looks so good.
Well, that's what I'm saying about like the you know, this is just a company, right? They're not making, I mean, they're small, right? And they're making these awesomely huge, detailed, really great figures. I mean, like this dude here, I just love the way this guy looks.
I love the attitude too, like the posing and beautiful.
What's just funny for me is this takes me right back to my childhood playing Warcraft 2 when they first introduced, you know, the two-headed ogre mages, and like the ridiculousness of how savage they are, but how stupid they were too.
Yep.
It's just so epic to see toys of these. Because again, when I was a kid, I was like 6th grade playing Warcraft 2, and you know, I went around to a bunch of my friends' houses and installed the game on their computers, because back then you didn't need the disc to play online with your friends. So we'd be playing, you know, back in the day, just across battle.net and having fun with these. And I always wanted like toys. We had a very, very small short run of just a couple of characters. But this right here, this is, again, like I said, they weren't the most intelligent. And look at this goofiness right here, right?
Joe, did you respond when he said 6th grade playing Warcraft 2? I did.
Yeah, so you guys pop.
It takes you back. It takes you back. Yeah.
I'm just saying, wow, he was in 6th grade because I was a little older than that.
Oh,
well, you guys know I'm the baby. I have group, so
I have a poor concept of time, so intentionally.
Okay.
Intentionally. so I don't feel as old.
You can go down to the skivvies, and I'm not sure if that's meant to be underwear because it's painted like flesh. Maybe maybe they are just.
I was gonna say, if he turns around and he's awfully cheeky, I mean,
Alan says he needs these too. So
yeah, I'm with you.
I apologize to anybody that watched tonight. We talked about a $550 dragon. And
Alan,
then these figures are all big money, Sasquatches, all these figures. We're sorry.
But wait, there's more. Get your wallets ready. There's Goresh Born.
Don't go anywhere, folks. Get your wallets ready. We got more.
Rush.
This is not yet up for pre-order, but it is coming. Look at everything from like I was sort of pointing out like things like the hook hand on this.
Tiffany says, I get this if it was a one-headed monster, and then you show up a one-headed monster. Just wait, there's more.
Right? There you go. There's your one head. And there's a cool head underneath that.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be great. Medi is doing this. Was this the tiger you were? I don't think this was.
I was talking about Ballard.
No, not this one. Okay. But this is the one that you were showing off, Brick, where he's like flinging the toads. And I was just like, that is cool.
Hey, Joe, is this not a Tygon? I kind of just assumed that it was like the non-playable species. I don't know if you're familiar with that at all.
Tygon? I don't.
They were knee deep. People like went through the file structure of WoW, I thought, and then
I'm not a World of Warcraft guy.
Gotcha.
Never really played it. Yeah. So
okay.
Fair
enough.
I actually, believe it or not, I was not a super social person before I started doing these toy shows.
Yeah.
And you interact with so many different personalities in massively multiplayer online games that it was not appealing to me.
Sure.
So
I stayed away from it too. I played Warcraft.
So good though,
right?
Yeah,
I
Thanos was saying Thanos was saying they're not. So it could Yeah, I know that Taigons do exist. They don't quite look like this, and they don't necessarily wear this armor.
So Alan was
But
going to
they've
go
also
spend time with
pictured
his
it.
wife, but he says a Taigon is a hybrid lion father.
Guys,
and a
we're
tiger
covered.
mother.
I texted Shannon specifically and said, it's not our fault.
Right.
She said he came through the door looking guilty.
You're welcome, Alan. Look at the armor on this thing, the soft goods, and then the sculpted soft goods, the sculpted goods, whatever that look like soft goods, just killer. And then the face with the frog.
And the frog being a weapon, like, how is that a thing? I don't care. It's cool. It's
that.
cool.
See that shot right there. Now, Dylan sent me a picture of that the other day. Like, that no context photo. He just sent that to me, and I was like, "What's coming out of the frog's butt?" And he's like, "I'm not sure, but it's cool."
Right? Like, he's using a water jet to propel himself from the tiger.
The head sculpts on this tiger are just incredible, though.
They are
100%.
nuts.
Are you on 5K right now?
I am on 5K right now. Yeah.
Trying to resist.
Look up Beyithir.
I got them right here from their IG. So that is their saber-toothed tiger gladiator from Zezre Studios.
Oh,
yeah.
I've been to that page about 20 times also.
Yeah, I keep going back and going, do I really want this? Yes, I really
forgot
want this.
about
Should I
him.
order this? Or yes,
It's low stock, so if you're gonna get it, he was an event. Well, at least they're low stock on the event exclusive, which is this dark colored.
What is this one? Yeah, Ted grabbed this actually.
Did he?
Yeah, he's got it. It was an LA. I think it was an LA Comic-Con exclusive or a Designer Con. One of those.
Yeah,
we don't know why a frog.
Event exclusive. It doesn't say which one.
But it's cool. It's built on the same body as the Minotaurs, as Zezre's Minotaurs, but with additional like accessories that are unique to the thing, and obviously the head, and it's
and they
really
swapped out
good
the feet too.
Well, I almost bought him, and then I saw the two-headed peach-looking dude come out, and I was like, man, I'll just wait and get that. And now I'm still waiting.
Decisions.
Now I'm looking at him like, oh man.
But then I'm thinking too many options than not enough, though, for sure.
Right. And that's exactly it. What a world we live in where there is this many options for cool stuff that we're just like, I don't know what to get because it all looks so good. And that's something to say right now.
The only thing we're lacking in this toy community right now is cowboys and pirates. That's it.
Yeah, that's true.
And enough money to buy it all.
Well, and enough, and a third job, and enough hours to work them.
Yeah.
You want some more Monkey King? Black Myth Wukong, just like I was saying, Ninja is one of the largest animated films. Black Myth Wukong is one of the, like, this game hit like crazy.
Came out of nowhere too. Everybody was all about it.
This is InArt, Morphig. The InArt is famous for doing that that Gandalf with rooted hair recently.
Oh yeah, that's gorgeous figure too. Jesus.
Yep. And so they're doing, this is based on the video game. This is all characters from their Black Myth Wukong. And think back to the earliest conversation tonight around Beyithir and the sculpt. And that's the thing. We're 100% correct. Like the level of detail and stuff that's coming out of Four Horsemen Studio, amazing. And then it's like we're looking at this stuff and there's just as amazing stuff coming out from all of these companies that most people have never heard of, with properties that most people have never heard of. You can kind of see their Batman stuff. It's so cool. It's like really, really cool that this is where we are at.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, now got me scrolling down their IG, and I'm about to go in and buy this Ernest Corecraft robot build RB14 Denki number 9 Auto 9 figure, where it's one of those ones where it's got like, you know, it like transforms, kind of got like a mech suit type thing that turns into a bike that the person can ride. And
it's a dangerous game, but it's a
5K
fun
toys is a horrible place
It's
to go.
it's
fun
only
one.
$58 plus shipping. Like
Hey,
it's
for all the
only
pressure I've been facing the last couple of days, is people telling me to buy a dragon here. Just I can dish it out to kids.
Yep.
Oh,
There's
Brick,
this.
you've already owned my number for quite a while. We've both been there.
There's this heavy Centaur
Whoa,
Paladin
Centaur?
by Cool something. What are they called? Cool Toy or I'm forgetting. But it. But again, not even necessarily like we can't buy all the things. We just can't. Unless if you can, let's talk. But
Right?
most of us can't.
Where do you work?
And
How do I get a job with you?
most of us can't, but it's just neat to see this stuff. I just love to look at it. I'm actually not going to get this. There's a bunch of these things that I'm not getting that. But
Yeah,
then
you know,
occasionally,
you got to look at some of this and just appreciate the art
Yeah.
of it, right? I mean,
Yeah.
because you literally have to, you know, sell your entire life and your soul to the devil in order to be able to afford everything that's out nowadays. It's so cool.
And if you can't and aren't willing to sell your soul to the devil, instead buy some devil toys. Come by the news this Sunday, and we'll talk about those too.
Alan has a job for anybody that wants to move to Texas. I think he's what he's saying.
All right, so got to move to Texas.
It's not a bad place to live, man.
I'm just saying that's not a sentence I ever thought I would say, though.
Imagine this guy going with his lance up against Benagar.
Oh,
right. Oh,
yeah, let's do a last one. Something fun, something different.
Yes,
White Cat Legend by Noda. Noda is one of my favorite toy lines. The only reason I don't have more is they definitely tend to skew on the smaller side. I have the Wukong, which is perfect. Small monkey dude, tiny. Mm-hmm. This is, again, from one of these properties based on an old story out of China called White Cat Legend. There's been animated versions. There's been a live action drama. There's, I think, a film as well.
Ain't no
Again,
doubt.
Stuff we don't know about, but look at all the heads, man.
Yeah. And Noda makes excellent bodies. Their bodies are amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And soft goods. Like you can kind of see. Like, oh, check that out, man.
That is so cool. I'd have a body for every one of these heads with a costume on. Just amazing.
Right? Like, look at how cool that is. It is.
Those soft goods are so good.
It just totally fit in. Any little line you got. Like, I'd almost want to buy these things up like plunderlings just to have them run through. Like, you know, again, like I talk about plunderlings like they're the roadies of the toy world. Like, you could just see them setting up a dio for you for your new toy that you got coming out there.
Wrapping your Christmas presents.
Right. And like I could totally picture these doing the same thing.
Like this is a figure you buy, you just put on your desk at work, and people just walk by and be like, "What the hell is that? That is awesome!" Right? It's just
I'll tell them straight up, that's my desk, pussy.
And Noda has like his toy companies. I mean, toy fans, of course, have asked like, "Why isn't it a white body?" There's a prototype. There will be a white body that'll be consistent with the thing. If you're that level,
I'm sure they're gonna have like. Yeah, color variants that'll be otherwise different. Like again, this is specifically for this myth, but I could see that, or this media, I could see them doing all kinds with this. I don't know if anybody's familiar with Monster Hunter, but they got these cool cat little creatures that run around in that game, and I could see them using this type of sculpt to create little things for that too.
I have never messed with any of the figures with the posable eyes things, but for this, especially with the large eyes, you get so much variety in terms of emotion. And look at that. It's just, that's too cool. The belt.
Play with that so much.
That's a cool
look at that.
I love it.
That is ridiculous. Adorable and ridiculous. I'm all about it. Sign me up.
Again, don't gotta buy everything, but man, I want people to know and appreciate like where we're in and see all the cool stuff. And I'm hoping it just, you know, what is the rising tide lifts all ships? Like just drive up the the interest in toys, maybe the interest in these toy companies trying to maybe up things up,
it's kind of
explore
like you
new
said, though, right? Like
options.
every time a company comes out with something that's unique or different, like this, or like the bigger toys, right? That just makes more people go and do something like that. I mean, it's just
It's gonna
it just
inspire
breeds more
somebody else.
creativity. Exactly, it's just inspired
Yep.
other artists.
Whew, there's a lot of toys.
All right.
But
Well, we're sorry, folks, for enabling anybody that just lost their
No.
wallet and emptied
I
their
ain't
bank
sorry
account.
at all.
And thank you, because like I've been sitting on these, and like because of just the way the show has been on Sundays, which is usually where I go through this stuff. It's like, Jeremy, we were just talking about the dragon, space zombies. We were just talking about space zombies, which is cool. And like, I've been itching to be like, check this out, check this out, check this out. So appreciate you all for indulging me, and
appreciate you for bringing your slides, because we love all that stuff.
Fun, guys, fun.
So, Oz, you want to promote anything before we throw out of here? Move out of here, go out of here, whatever I want. I'm trying. Words are hard.
Y'all know where the hell I'm gonna be.
I heard you do a little show on Saturday nights, right? Just a little one.
Well, no, we've got Let's Go Off-World this upcoming Friday night, where you can catch myself and this guy, as well as several of the other Let's Go Off-World crew. We're going to be hanging around talking about all kinds of cool stuff, like what we're excited about, what's coming out, toy pickups of the week, if we've got any. We're going to try to figure out this week in theater and roll back the clock and see some old films, see what we would have seen in theater this particular week in whatever year we go back to. So that's going to be awesome. And you can check us out on the Let's Go Off-World podcast YouTube channel, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, and all time zones in between. Then, of course, Saturday night, you can catch me. Hopefully, I'll be surrounded by all of these amazing people like I normally am on a Saturday night, where we get to hang out, open up all these cool toys like what we were just looking at, and get to play with them. And that's what we typically do. We hang out all night, opening toys, playing with them. And it's fun. It's a lot of fun. So catch us there. And this just was coming up today. We were talking about it. For those of you that remember, once upon a time, I was on a show called Toy Frenzy, where we used to do a weekly thing. We're going to be back again with a new episode. I believe it's April 3rd.
Oh, nice.
So you guys can catch us on there. That'll be myself, Skelevator, Battle Ram Blog, Adam. You never know. We might have Bobby Dangerously show up. We may have cool Uncle Sean joining us. But this time around, if you guys are a fan of Motu and you guys like the really creepy stuff, we're diving into the Fright Zone. So it's going to be all about the Fright Zone coming up.
All right, Joe, what about you, brother? What you got?
Well, like Oz, I am also going to be on the Let's Go Off-World podcast this coming Friday. It's kind of a special one for me. Curtis and Jesse are going to Muskegon, so they won't be on the show. It'll be the return of Matthew Dooch, the guy who actually owns the channel. It's his channel.
I was going to say he started it.
Yep, he did. Dooch is coming back, and Dooch's chair will be there for anybody who's in the know.
We might actually have people show up this time for Dooch's chair.
Dooch's chair. So I'm looking forward to that. It's been a while since Matt's been on, so looking forward to hanging out with him again, and the fine cast of fellows that'll be with us on that. And then, of course, Oz's Clubhouse every Saturday night. I'll be there to hang out for sure.
It's not just my clubhouse, really. It's all of ours.
It's your ship. We just get to ride on it, Oz. So and, anywhere else that anybody will let me on to hang out with them, because I love just hanging out with cool people and talking about cool toys.
All right, thank you, Joe. What about you, Brickster?
I already talked about Sunday, Haxon House. Come check that out. A lot of great people are going to be coming on the next couple of weeks. Next Tuesday, the next episode should drop, and we are talking about a Skeletor from Masterverse this time. We're going through all the different releases. Which Skeletor, we'll find out. So that'll drop on Tuesday. And really, that's it. And I want to echo Joe just in terms of like being grateful for you guys. I love the four of us talking toys. We got to, do the whole live react thing. It's just react to stuff. And I also want to echo TD3 Trooper. That last sentiment there is just that's it right there. Perfectly said. Perfectly said.
Please. That's what this is all about. Sharing the joy of toys with friends and others. Like, there shouldn't be any negativity here. Really shouldn't.
Shout out to Travis.
That's right, Travis.
Let us
just remember, guys, even if you can't afford all the stuff, enjoy what you have. Be grateful for what you got. Be grateful that you're healthy and your family's good. That's what it's all about. And be grateful for great friends like I am for these three chumps here and my boy Travis. So thank you guys for joining in. Appreciate you guys. And as Travis would say, as he ends every stream, I may bring up my song because I want to do the outro for Travis. But as Travis always says, stay wonderful. Let your toys breathe, toys on the desk, it's the new habitat. Toy League takeover, we're loving that. It's a stack high in the air where it's at. Everywhere's a playground for Mr. Wonderful. In the office, living room, let them breathe. Action fix hit the trail through the mud and under sail. It's the Toy League life beyond the shelf we prepare. Figures and cents in perfect place with hexa stats beyond the space. From battle scenes to epic quests, our collection's always at its best.